Hail Heroes, and welcome to Paragon City Games stream for the 25th of August. I'm Sean. I'm going to be here with Brandon, who's setting up the matches. Ooh, that's crooked. And we're here for some Legacy. The door is open right now, so there's a lot of noise. We're going to get that closed shortly. Alright. So it looks like Brandon is just writing down the sideboards here so that we're going to have some information when we go to board, since it's just an FNM and we don't do deck lists. It's a lot of work for an FNM. People just want to show up and play. Looks like he has Croson Grip and a Sylvan Library so far. Flusterstorm. Ooh, what is that? Missed it. I'm sure Brandon will tell us as soon as he gets back in here. Surgical. Check in on the other table to see if their match is underway yet. Not yet. Oh. And we're going to pile shuffling. Oh!
That was me.
Who did it?
So sorry.
That was Patrick. So if you're watching on like standard Mondays, give him some crap.
Did it work out?
Huh?
Did it work out?
What workout?
The camera.
It needs to be adjusted a little bit, but I'll just get Brandon on that if you don't want to. Good evening, Jorgensen.
Okay.
You gonna get the door?
Yeah, go
or
to
maybe the
this
camera?
one.
Oh, he's adjusting it. We are going to the playmat one.
Yeah. Just
Okay.
because that's the one that I wrote stuff down for.
Okay.
That's probably good. It only needed to move like an inch. Oh, that's perfect.
So, Paul and Tony, right?
Yep.
And look at them big dice. New dice
So
for the
big.
stream.
So now we can actually
So,
know
who's
what's
Paul
going
and
on.
who's Tony?
Paul on Lance
Oh, yep. Okay.
and Tony on check pile. 4-color control, whatever you
Ooh.
want to call it. At least I'm hoping. I didn't get a chance to look at the whole deck list. I like kind of fanned out the first 5 cards, and I saw Leovold, Force of Will, Lightning Bolt, and I was like, check pile, I guess.
Okay.
Or 4-color stuff.
Okay, that is a name. UK Hall? That's what I'm going with. Hello, UK Hall.
Welcome. All right, and we're off to the races here in round 1. Paul on lands, starting with a Grove of the Burn Willows and an Exploration, followed by a Ghost Quarter.
Dice too small. You should glue 9 of them together. I think the table would break if you rolled 2 of those across it. Maybe hit a legacy deck. You don't want that.
Underground Sea for Tony, and a Ponder.
The nice player reward ponder.
Can't really tell what he's looking at there. Crop rotation, maybe? I don't know. I can't. Fatal Push.
Yeah.
Definitely one of the cards. There we go. Get him into a better light for us. And move him back. Alright, he's going to draw one of those. Probably not the Fatal Push.
I thought he swapped it to the back real quick, but
I think he did, but it looks like maybe that is what he drew.
which is weird. You don't want Fatal Push against lands ever.
Fatal Push could kill a Merit Lage token if it didn't have Indestructible.
Okay, I was like, no, it can't.
It has less than 2 CMC.
So we're gonna see. That's a Merit Law. He can make that this turn already.
Yeah, wow.
End of
Great
turn.
start from Paul. Really showcasing how explosive this lands deck can be.
Control deck.
I don't know if I would consider this a control deck. It's like a weird amalgam of fast combo deck and slow, grindy mid-range deck.
MTG Top 8 calls it a control deck.
Well, I guess I'm wrong. It's a control deck.
All right.
So-
So we see a 2020 flying indestructible
Avatar
creature. It used
Coming
to be
into
a control
play.
deck.
That makes sense. Yeah, the Thespian stage is what kind of gave it the explosive draw, being
Yeah.
able to just make the Merit Lage as soon as turn 1 or 2.
Yeah, you used to have to run like.
Basic Forest.
You used to have to run the Vampire Hexmage if you wanted to make a Merit Lodge.
Yeah. Eternal Garden. Okay. Yeah. This Merit Lage.
Game is over.
Yeah, I mean it. But I mean, the Merit Lage attack wasn't lethal.
Well,
Tony had gained a life at least. From
Yep.
the
yeah. I guess.
He should have at least seen his draw step.
For what?
Who knows?
Swords?
Yeah, not sure there's anything game 1 that Check Pile can do against that.
Probably not. The one lightning bolt, maybe. No, that doesn't do it.
No. You're 17 points of damage short of killing an indestructible avatar.
There's a lot wrong with that. It still has control elements to it, though. Sometimes the 2020 just doesn't get there. Yeah?
Yeah, which gives it kind of the mid-range feel of the deck. I guess you probably would call that control.
Just...
It kind of just wants to lock.
How much it likes to grind, that's what I think makes it a control deck.
Yeah.
Like, just trying to make the game go long, punishing fire them to heck. What do their boards look like?
Yeah, let's talk about the sideboards here. So Paul's got 2 copies of Surgical Extraction, 1 Thorn of Amethyst, 1 Chalice of the Void, 4 Sphere of Resistance, a Caracas, a Crucible of Worlds, 2 Childless Tracker, and 3 Crows and Grip. And Tony has got a Sylvan Library, a Flusterstorm, 2 Invasive Surgery.
I'll bring that card up
Yeah,
real
that's
quick.
a weird one.
That is a spicy
2
sideboard
Surgical
card.
Extractions, 1 Red Elemental Blast, 1 Thoughtseize, 2 Minister of Pains. Another interesting one.
So this is the one I didn't know what it was when we were cycling through his board, because I was trying to name all the cards as you were going through it. And I was like, what is that?
So then 1 Kolaghan's Command, 1 Pithing Needle, 1 Baleful Strix, and 2 Diabolic Edict. So I think Diabolic Edict definitely coming in from Tony.
So it looks like, is it just a Dispel? What does the Delirium do?
So if you have Delirium...
Oh, you search...
Oh, then you just surgical them.
Yeah.
But it applies only to sorcery spells.
Yeah. That's got to be for, like,
Show and Tell?
Show and Tell. Yeah.
Okay. So I think definitely we're going to see Surgical Extractions come in. I think we're definitely going to see the Diabolic Edicts come in. Probably the Pithing Needle, for sure. Any other big hits? Oh, Life from the Loam. Great against Life from the
I
Loam.
thought that was instant. Is Life from the Loam sorcery?
No, it's a sorcery. I'm pretty sure it's a sorcery, and if Jorgensen
100%.
says it's a sorcery, it's a sorcery.
Okay, yeah.
So,
That's really good,
yeah,
actually.
maybe the invasive surgeries come in here too.
And, like, if you can hit a Life from the Loam with invasive surgery and then Edict, because I'm not usually a fan, like, you bring in the Edicts because you have to. They'll buy you a couple extra turns, but the Merit Lage is coming back the next turn.
Yeah.
Like, the very next turn.
Yeah.
Like, unless he doesn't have an Exploration out there, and they inevitably do unless you've countered it or gotten rid of it. So this actually deals with, like, the threat.
So what do you like from Paul's sideboard, though, against Check Pile? I think I like the Tireless Trackers. because he's probably boarding out his removal, so there's not a lot that's going to be able to kill the Tireless Tracker left in the deck. And that's just a great way to try to grind out card advantage with this control deck.
I get so confused with these check pile. Like, it's
basically a Sultai control deck with red, with a bit of red in there. Typically a Lightning Bolt, a Culligan's Command, a few sideboard cards. Some of them are ambitious, play 2 Lightning Bolts.
Would it be weird to say Sphere of Resistance or Thorn of Amethyst? I think that's reasonable.
Try and slow down their cantripping.
Yeah. That'd be something I would be looking at.
Probably don't like Surgical there. Probably don't need the Caracas.
Chalice might be okay.
Yeah, Chalice on 1, trying to shut off cantrips.
He doesn't have any really hard hate cards.
No, not really. And I think a deck like Check Pile, it's not really one that really merits any hard hate cards. There's just not really any way to just really hate a deck like that out.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of got to beat them at their own game, and I think Paul needs to try to just be either faster or just bigger in the long game, which I think the Lance deck does pretty well.
So, turn 1 Ponder from Tony. See Snapcaster Mage, Force of Will, and Leovold.
Is that? I thought that was a red card. Maybe I'm...
I don't think so.
I couldn't tell what the third card was. I thought it was red.
I'm pretty sure it was Snapcaster, Leovold, and
Force of Will.
Force of Will, and he takes the Force of Will.
All right. Windswept Heath for Paul.
Heads on down to 19.
A look and he will go. See what he decides to get here.
Forest. Does Check Pile run Wasteland?
I believe so.
It's got to.
Yeah.
Did Paul even see any other than cantrips last game?
Yeah, that's a pretty fair point. He might not have any idea what he's playing against. Kind of the downfall of killing your opponent so quickly.
Maybe he should have waited a little bit.
Try to get a little more information.
Definitely not.
What did he see out of Tony? He saw the Ponder. And what did Tony even do on his second turn? Like, scoop?
Die? I don't know. I think it was turn 3, actually.
There's the Life from the Loam.
Getting back a Wasteland and the fetch land. I'm not...
Yeah, Wasteland, Windswept Heath lands in the graveyard for Paul. Yeah, I think that's fine, letting this resolve.
He thought about the Force of Will for a second, but... So there is that Snapcaster Mage.
Mm-hmm.
Leovold most likely on top of his library.
Maybe getting
if
away.
Paul saw Leovold, does he think about...
Looks like Leovold is in his hand.
Yeah. Do you think he thinks about... well, he drew one of the cards off of the Ponder, so I guess that wasn't... No, yeah, he drew the Force of Will.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he fetches away his second Leovold.
Yeah.
But do you think about Caracas? Do you board in Caracas against a Leovold deck?
No, that was something I was thinking about, and I don't know. If you board it in against their only legendary being the Leovold, that seems real loose to me.
Yeah.
Letting them draw a card just for a bit of tempo.
Does tempo matter when you put a flying 2020 avatar creature with indestructible into play?
Probably not.
I mean, it does.
The Leovold actually very good in this matchup.
I would say so. It protects your lands.
Protects your lands.
Gives you that draw engine so that you find the answers when they do make that 2020.
Yep, gives you a draw engine, and it's a three powered body, which is a clock. You need a good solid clock against a deck like lands. You need to just end this game.
So Paul ghost quarters him. I'm sure he knew the chances are fairly high that he just didn't have any more basics. He already had the 2, and he doesn't even go looking.
That ghost quarter becoming a strip mine. And just a grip of cards there for Paul.
The most erotic kind of mine, I would say. A strip mine. Am I allowed to say that?
You could. I'm sure you're allowed to say that. Should you say that?
Yes.
Probably not. For the sake of our viewers. Bloodstained Mire, or second land in play, but third land this game. Oh, it looked like Paul had too many cards in hand, so he had to discard something.
Yeah, he
there.
just, yeah. That happens when you Life from the Loam. He even discarded to Mox Diamond, and he had too many cards in his hand.
Ghost Quarter going to attack the swamp, and that's going to leave Tony with just a Bloodstained Mire in play.
I think he says Float Black. Not that it'll really matter here.
All right. Looks like a Scalding Tarn was the pickup.
Yep. That'll at least let him get to 3 mana someday.
Well, he's got to still find the third.
He's got to find the third, but at least they're not going to get Ghost Quartered or Strip Mined.
Now he's got to, but that means he's got to try to naturally draw the third if his plan is to try to make Leovold. And
Yeah.
that's stranding a Brainstorm in his hand.
If Paul takes the opportunity to play something that is not Ghost Quarter here, he could go for it and have a turn with his land.
I just feel like that's a window that Paul is not willing to give, but maybe we'll see.
We haven't seen... Well, he would have to cast his Life from the Loam again since Ghost Quarter's in the yard, and it looked like he wanted to play Dark Depths there.
Oh, there's a Wasteland.
So he plays Wasteland, and since Tony doesn't have any basics left in the
Effectively
deck...
the same as a Ghost Quarter at this point.
Yeah.
Not afraid of Tony playing a basic land and getting kind of effectively blown out, so to say, for having Wasteland instead of Ghost Quarter. So pretty good there. And I really like this. I really like Paul not giving Tony a window.
Yeah.
He's just saying, you're out of basics. You're not going to have any lands at all soon. And this game, I'm going to walk away with this game.
Yeah, he's giving him, like, okay, if you want to fetch, you can fetch, and then you get 1 spell.
Make your Brainstorm. Better be a good one. Make it the best Brainstorm of your life. Pointing to his Wasteland there. Tony is going to get hit for 1 again by that Baleful Strix. Down to 16 he goes.
He has a Crozen Grip in his hand, doesn't he? He might fire that off. Just to take his 16 turn clock off the table.
Well, I mean, and that just puts pressure on Tony. Right now, maybe Tony just feels...
Split second, so this is just going to happen.
Yeah, nothing going on the stack here.
Not a lot to think about. Okay. Don't pick up your land, because that's not really how that works. You think Paul's just like, sure, show me your Force of Will, see if you have it, and then I'll tell you that you can't do that.
I think he's pointing out, it's got split second, just put it in your graveyard.
Yeah.
Put it in the bin, mate.
I think
it
if
looks
I
like
was
Paul took the damage and then waited till end step to fire that off.
He did.
Okay, I like that play.
Yeah.
Just to see if something else came out of Tony that he wanted to
You're not
respond
afraid
to.
of the 1 damage.
No,
At all.
not at all. So there's another Mox Diamond. That's going to be real nice to get Paul's mana situation going.
Hitches the green fetch.
Wooded Foothills.
Yep.
And down comes a Dark Depths.
Those nice
and
large
he
dice.
passes the turn. What is Tony looking for here? Is he just hoping to peel a 3rd land here? And then
he does.
make Leovold? Or True Name Nemesis? Yeah, True Name's in his hand.
Yeah, I think True Name is the closest thing to a hope he has.
And he just needs to hope that... I don't believe there's a Thespian stage in the graveyard or in hand for Paul.
Not yet.
Not yet. So, if
he has
can
a crop rotation.
If he can... Oh, okay.
So, yeah, it's in his hand.
All right, yeah, he effectively has a... but Tony has the Force of Will.
Yeah, he does.
So he's got the crop rotation covered. So I think Tony here just accepts that in a couple turns he's going to have no more lands, but makes this True Name Nemesis and just tries to ride that to victory. And
I think 100%.
Hope he can race Paul.
He's pulled the Leovold to the front, though. I hope he doesn't cast that. It could draw him enough land eventually, enough cards eventually that he'll hit another 3 land, but opening yourself up like that, I'm not really a fan of it. Also he...
Ooh, and he's going to go with a Ponder instead.
Ooh.
and see what he finds. Deathrite Shaman, Lightning Bolt, Brainstorm. I can't say that I'm a big fan of these white border Ice Age Brainstorms.
I think we've had enough weeks where we berate the players about their choice in cards.
That's our job.
I thought it was to commentate, but I guess that could be technically called commentating.
All right, and it looks like he's going to fetch, make a Deathrite Shaman.
That's a repeatable source of
I
mana.
kind of like the Deathrite Shaman here.
Yeah.
Sort of paid off for casting that Ponder there. Not sure if I would have gone that route. I might have just made the True Name Nemesis myself.
Yeah,
but
Paul only has a Wasteland, and he can play right now at most 1 land a turn.
So I mean,
and
you've
so
got
he's
a couple
gonna untap.
turns.
He's
You've
gonna
got a
untap with
couple
1 black
turns.
land.
Meal Solutions. Bryce is here tonight.
Yep, somewhere. Is there ever enough of telling people their opinions are wrong about things?
No, never.
I don't know.
We're Magic players.
I get sick of it.
We're Magic players. Your opinions are always wrong.
We'll see what you're saying after, like, a couple more months of commentating. I'm all for the chat telling him that they're wrong.
There's the Thespian stage, and he's just gonna... That's in play. Not really sure there's much that Tony can do to respond to this.
He has...
It's in play. Paul has priority, so he can activate it, and then Tony can respond if he chooses to. And he's just gonna scoop
He
him
had the
up.
Diabolic Edict in hand.
Oh, did he?
He did.
Yeah, but I believe that was on Paul's end step. So he's tapped out there. Not sure I like tapping out when I have an Edict in hand.
No, yeah. Especially with those cards on the table. Anyway.
Will do, Meal Solutions.
So, Paul takes that down.
We have a task.
When you guys get a chance, tell him he's slack and to respond to my email from Tuesday.
That's just bad policy right there. Email a guy on Tuesday, not hear from him, and it's Friday.
All right, I'm going to check out this other table.
We'll definitely whip Bryce into shape.
Did you check out who's playing over here?
No, I didn't have time. Let me run and do that. I want to read this.
The only strictly incoherent choice I can think of when it comes to card printing decisions is the Unholy Strength without the pentagram. Always wrong. Yeah.
Oh, man.
I mean...
But white bordering your Brainstorm?
You got a cool snowflake in the corner. What else do you need?
I don't like it. All right, let's go find out who these guys are.
So there's a Grizzlebrand in play for the person on the left. So I want to say this is Turbo Depths. Turbo Depths and Reanimator combo thing. I don't know what the name of this deck is called. Animator Depths. And this is Patrick. He was talking about building this deck. I've got the Animator Depths Patrick.
Yep, Patrick on Reanimator Depths and Theodore on just straight Sultai control. Mid-range control. Just generic blue, black, green Leovold deck.
Sorry, you said words?
Words.
What was it?
Sultai control.
That's his name?
Oh, Theodore, sorry.
I already forgot that part too. Theo, we're going with Theo. I'm sorry if you don't go by Theo. I'm not very good at spelling. So...
Oh, I guess I didn't know there was a 5th edition Brainstorm with that artwork. Alright, I guess that's less egregious. I'm sitting here thinking that, like, he took an eraser to the borders of his Ice Age Brainstorms.
Oh.
Okay.
No cool snowflake? I'm off. I'm not on board anymore.
I'm on board now, Sean's no.
Is that an Iona?
Yeah, Shield of Emeria, I believe. It's a promo one. or the From the Vault Angels version.
Ooh.
So we've got a Gristlebrand and Iona. What do you think? What color is Iona naming in this matchup?
Blue.
I want to immediately say blue,
Well, there's
but
a
I
handshake.
guess it doesn't matter.
Did you figure out what game they're on?
No, but I think we'll find out based on what these players do with their decks.
Yeah.
Will
black. Jurgensen says black.
That's kind of what I was about to say. You want to say blue just offhand, just because blue, but getting down to it,
I guess black is going to hate out the cards that can actually deal with your threat.
Mm-hmm. You get access to cards like Liliana the Veil, Surgical Extraction, we're post-boarded games. So intuitively, you might think that blue is the name, just because blue, right?
Yeah, I took about 2 seconds to think about that, and I think black is 100% the right.
In a deck like this, I would be more prone to name a color like
I'm
black.
pretty sure that the match is over since they showed each other their sideboard cards.
Yeah, and since they're putting their decks back in the deck
And we
box.
have forever on the match clock.
Let's play Pauper, and these guys can sit in silence.
Sit in silence. I'm gonna go play Mud against somebody.
Yeah, go do that. I guess.
I'm gonna go see if Patrick
I
wants
want
to
to play
jam.
Mud this time. I had to sit in here alone last time and talk to chat.
Okay.
I don't want to do that again.
It's in my backpack.
Okay. This one?
Yeah, just hand it in my backpack. It'll be a lot easier. I'll be able to commentate and say what you're doing wrong.
So everything?
Yeah, usually that's what other people do with my deck.
All the way down to
You
the
double
first...
check that there's black sleeves in there.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I play an absurd amount of Pauper. So I decided to build Pauper in paper as well. I play Bomberman in Pauper. I've uploaded like a YouTube video. If you look up Pauper Bomberman, I'm like the first person who comes up. And the deck is super legit. I don't know if I'm allowed to shill from my own channel, but I just did. Do I play Paper Pauper a lot? I would say every other week on Thursday I do, and then today, before we casted, me and Brandon and I played Pauper as well. It's a really fun deck to just jam. He played Reanimator in Pauper. The only good Reanimator spell in Pauper is Exhume. So it makes it a little bit tough, but Striped Riverwinder actually made the deck a lot better, the blue-black one, and it's fun. It's kind of hard to deal with a hexproof 5/5 on turn 2. It's giant dice. Brandon rolls 9, 10, 11, 12. No, was that a 1 or a 2? I think Pauper would be more of a thing if Wizards would just make a Gatherer have it as a search option, because when you want to search for a card in Pauper, you don't really know how to type that into Gatherer, and Paper Pauper also has different rules than Magic Online, which I don't like. So I build all my Paper Pauper decks just Mitgo rules. I didn't quite. I was talking, so I didn't catch who's going first here. That's a really relevant thing when it's Animator depths against Mud. If Mud goes first and they can just rush out a hate spell, in order to do that, they'd have to actually sit down and decide what is legal in Pauper. Instead of just... Yeah. So, Brandon has... I would say it's not a good hand. So he's just going to send that back. Just 2 slow lands. Oh, he's showing us our hand. He has Thoughtseize, Entomb, Reanimate, Lotus Petal, Swamp. Was that a Cabal Therapy? Does that list even play Cabal Therapy? I didn't catch all of it. I think there was a Thespian stage. Okay, so here's a whole bunch of lands. There's a Cavern of Souls that he's going to put on the bottom since he has all of these lands. That doesn't enter tapped. So Patrick going first, and he's going to Thoughtseize Brandon, rip apart his hand. Trinisphere probably the take here. Yeah. And he gets an Entomb. Probably going to be over fairly quick. Mud has no 0 mana interactions, or very little interaction to begin with. Brandon wishing that he could put Metalwork in the graveyard in case that was an Exhume or something. Lodestone Golem with the draw. That land doesn't enter tapped, but whatever. A lot of people confused on which Locust land comes in tapped. Hold on, I'm gonna run out there and tell him real quick. Yeah, the one that gives you all the mana. Maybe he just wanted to psych out Patrick. Oh. So, yeah, this Grizzlebrand's drawing 7 already. Looks like that was a pretty spicy 7. Urborg, Thespian Stage, Dark Depths. I think this is a terrible matchup for Brandon. Unless he can play like a turn 1 Chalice, and even then the Dark Depths can still just come in and there's not a lot you can do against a 20/20. You'd really have to just like Staff of Domination to keep it down, and you might have enough time against this deck, but probably not. This is some Metalworker? Yeah, Metalworker coming down. So that's 1/2 of the infinite combo with Staff of Domination. Bridge. Ensnaring Bridge out of the board works, yeah. Another Thoughtseize just ripping apart his hand. Takes the Lodestone Golem rightly. Kuldotha Forge Master can hit the board this turn. Okay, so he taps the mana in response to the trigger. So he has 2, and he floats 4, or he gets 4 more, so he's up to 6. And then he spends 5 for Forge Master. He's really low on artifacts, so I don't think he's going to be able to activate that and get get the staff without just wiping his own board. It's possible that he lives through it, but it's looking really bleak. And with tutor effects, if you're picking up someone else's deck, it's hard to know that you have an out there. One of the saving graces of this deck is maybe Brandon lives long enough to get one or more artifact on the field and then plays Platinum Angel. Platinum Angel will give him any number of turns that he needs, as long as Reanimator Depths doesn't kill it. And what is the spell? I think it does have a kill spell. This one. What is this spell called? This is the one I can never remember the name to. I've tried to remember it. Collective Brutality. Got it. Does this kill Platinum Angel? So he would need 2 Collective Brutalities. Ooh. Maybe closer than either of the players thought, because Platinum Angel. But yeah, Patrick just beating Brandon down in the first couple turns. That's why the dice roll is so important. If Brandon could have like played Trinisphere on turn 2 or something, that would have made Patrick's life a lot harder. I think with that hand, Patrick would have still just run away with the game because of all those Lotus Petals and such. Ensnaring Bridge, probably pretty good. I think he's thinking about these Phyrexian Revokers, because they can name Grizzlebrand or Lotus Petal. 3 Fairy Macabre is really good, and then Ensnaring Bridge. So the board gets pretty decent. He's also boarding in a Walking Ballista. I think main deck there's already 2. So maybe that's not... I don't think he's going to be able to find enough slots to get all these to come in. The deck is pretty packed. I think he's going to take out Metalwork Colossus if he finds it. That card not really performing like I would like it to. Probably the weakest card in the deck. I think this is a matchup that you can't stand to grind. So maybe Crucible of Worlds comes out. And I didn't really see what's in Patrick's board. I'm kind of just speaking from the Mud player's perspective, because I know that way better. I would say you can cut... Okay, that seems alright. Kuldetha Forge Master, a little bit tough. Sundering Titan's kind of interesting, because if he has Urborg out, you can hit all of those weird lands. Probably not a good enough reason to keep it in the deck. So yeah, he has a bunch of cards he wants to bring in, but he only has 3 cards he wants to bring out so far. Batterskull maybe wants to come out. Not really a match where you want to just be gaining a whole bunch of life and beating. Yeah, he takes out 1 Batterskull, I think. He's going to take out a bunch of Batterskulls. I like that. I think I would take out a lot of Batterskulls. Ooh. He's taking out Chalice of the Void. He's not boarding altogether badly against... with a deck that he's not super familiar with. I like a lot of Chalices in this matchup, I think, because you have the option of jam 1 on 1, jam 1 on 0, and then you can cut them off of most of their deck. Like, the Lotus Petals won't get you anymore. You probably want to get 1 on 2, but if you start the game with 2 in your hand, you just jam 1 on 0. If you have a turn 1 play, I would say that there's an argument for just doing it on 0 and then doing a turn 1 play. Maybe not a strong argument, but an argument. Alright, they're going to be shuffling up. Mud's going to be on the play this time. I don't know what to call it. I'm going to say round X because we're in between round 1 and 2. This is just for fun game so that we're not just casting an empty playmat. Alright, so he has Ancient Tomb, which is a pretty good draw. He's going to be able to do turn 1 Revoker. Ooh, and there's an Ensnaring Bridge. Animator Depths taking a mole. I would say Mud is super favored now. I like that opener. I think Lotus Petal is the name off of that Revoker. If it's this early... yeah, I think definitely. Let's see Patrick get a good 6 here. So, reanimate Pithing Needle. Pithing Needle, a little bit of a tough name. He's gonna keep and scry to the bottom. Brandon taking 2 down to 18. Playing Revoker. That Lotus Petal in Patrick's hand is probably blanked now. So Swamp. The Urborg actually, interestingly enough, makes Ancient Tomb have a second mode where it doesn't take damage. So Brandon looking to gain a life with his Glimmer Void. Back up to 19. He may have named Grizzlebrand. This early, though, Lotus Petal. That's a respectable name, but... alright. So, seen in Tomb right away. Ooh. That's pretty bad news. I think you can avoid the Grizzlebrand ever hitting the table and really shut off a lot of its power. He's going to be able to... oh, he's going to grab Grave Titan anyway. That's interesting. Grave Titan going to be able to make 2 tokens, but that Ensnaring Bridge is probably going to shut him down. At least the non-token. He's going to be able to shut down the biggie, but not the smalls. I'm sorry. So, reanimate. He goes down to 12. Trigger Grave Titan. Alright, so Patrick with Pithing Needle. I'll have to make a note so that I ask him what the name was. And I would suspect that Brandon's going to be playing an Ensnaring Bridge. And just try to make the game go long. Going down to 17. Oh, that's a Staff of Domination in Brandon's hand. So his hand's really shaping up here. Patrick texting. I don't. Maybe he hasn't realized that there's an ensnaring bridge on the table yet, but that's probably bad news when it happens. Oh, he's looking up what the text on Grave Titan is. Another Lotus Petal in Patrick's hand. And a Vampire Hexmage. He speeds in for 4. Pretty soon, Brandon's going to be able to drop a Batter Skull, which will put a stop to that. Let's see what his draw for turn is. It is a Walking Ballista. So he's just going to cast this Lodestone Golem. That blocks 2/2s just fine. 4 cards in Brandon's hand, which is relevant for the Ensnaring Bridge. Patrick tapping 1 for that Thoughtseize. I'm just gonna run out there and make sure he taps 2 for that. I'd probably be taking, yeah. That seems like a pretty good get. And I would suspect that he's just going to pass the turn. Remembers his trigger off of the Inventor's Fair, gains a life, goes down another 2. Lodestone Golem hits the field, taxing him out of any spells that he wants to play that do not cost 0. Nope. Land for Patrick means that he's back on 1 mana spells. Not going to be able to do anything. Ran remembering his trigger. Maybe a little late, but it happens. Cloud Post. Big mana coming for Brandon. Walking Ballista is a clock for the end of the game eventually. It's going to be able to hit the field probably as a 2/2 or a 3/3 and start gaining a life every turn. Or gaining a power toughness, a counter. Another Swamp and a Reanimate spell just kind of stranded in Patrick's hand as he has nothing in the graveyard to reanimate. Ooh, another Cloud Post. Gonna be making this Walking Ballista pretty big. So Brandon tapping 3, 4, 5, 6. Going down to 8. Walking Ballista comes in as a 3/3. And each of these Cloud Posts tapping for 3 means he's going to be able to put 2 counters on it a turn. That is a clock. Ooh, Fairy Macabre coming in for Brandon. That's some insurance right there. Reason the deck plays Fairy Macabre is because it can't be taxed by Trinisphere. Turns out a 6 mana 3/3 is super playable for sure. Why play Wormcoil Engine when you could have a 3/3? Another Lotus Petal. If he tapped 2 for that, he doesn't need to since it's an artifact spell. Don't think that there's anything else in his hand that he wanted to play. End of turn. Okay, there is a Wormcoil Engine. Batterskull has the weird interaction with Walking Ballista that it can go down to 0 counters on it and still stay alive. Not sure that'll be relevant, but is that a Dark Ritual? It looks like Dark Ritual reanimate Iona in the hand of Patrick. more counters. That's 7 counters on the Walking Ballista, and another Cloud Post going to boost Brandon's mana up 2 more. So can he pay 6? 3, 6. So each of these Cloud Posts tapping for 4. So I believe that he has lethal right now. Just passing the turn, no need to do anything hasty. Draws a Collective Brutality, I think. Maybe a little too late. Gonna see another 2 counters, 3 counters on that Walking Ballista, pushing it up to 10. I don't think Brandon's gonna take any chances. Sabo Killer, thank you for following. So that goes up to 11, and he just machine guns him down from 10. That was an interesting game. Walking Ballista just gets there, has the reach, ensnaring bridge, locking down the field, and Brandon just playing lots of blockers to make sure that those 2/2s don't come through for lethal. Yeah, I think good go Mud. It doesn't feel like that this deck, that Mud should be able to contend in Legacy, but it's just so metagamed because it has like Trinisphere Chalice in it that it gets there a lot of the time. Metalworker, one of my favorite cards. When I first started playing Magic, I went on Gatherer, looked up the most powerful artifact deck I could find. Mud came up, and I was like, one day I will own this deck. Took me like 4 to 5 years, almost 6, I think. Finally got the deck together. Been playing it ever since. I had it built as stacks for a little bit when Miracles got banned. When Top got banned and Miracles wasn't as big of a thing anymore, I went back to the Mud build. What are those spells for Patrick? Are those ley lines? I don't know black spells that well. So if someone could tell me what those black spells that Patrick has laid on the table are. Jorgensen. Leyline of the Void. Okay. So I don't look totally retarded. The corset printing. Doesn't look like a corset to me, but... I can see that. I can see how that card looks like that card. Is my pointing off? No. We mirrored it. Okay. Gonna go let Brandon in.
How bad was it?
No, that was good. Game 1 I had some qualms, but...
What happened game 1? I didn't do anything. Was my hand just bad, or like my mulligan was bad?
No, your mulligan was good.
Was my 6 bad, or?
I think your 6 was fine too.
What did I do game 1 besides just play my Glimmer land, Lotus land tapped?
I don't know. I think I had a qualm, but I can't remember it.
Chat probably remembers.
What did
I do wrong?
What did Patrick name with his needle? He played a needle, didn't he?
He named Metalworker, and then I said, did you know that Metalworker is a mana ability?
I get people on that all the time.
And he said, it shouldn't be, and I said, it is.
But it makes mana.
And then he was like, what do I name then? And I was like...
Forge Master.
You saw Kodaltha Forge Master game 1. I wasn't gonna say Staff of Domination.
Yeah.
'Cause that was one of my outs to one of his big creatures. So I kind of just was like,
kind of wondering.
You saw Kodaltha game 1.
He, other than doubling up on, what is it, Collective Brutality? If you would have been able to go and fetch a Angel,
Yeah,
you would have bought so many turns.
That was my game plan. Was hope that play my land, gain the life to stay alive, and then I didn't know Angel was in your deck. So in my mind, I was like, I guess Staff of Domination.
What was your name on Revoker Game 2? That was Lotus Petal, right?
It was Grizzlebrand.
Oh, it was Grizzlebrand? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I thought it was Lotus Petal because I was like, that's probably.
He was just
what I had
saving
there.
his Lotus Petals.
Just hopefully
Because
Iona?
he had an Elishnorn in his hand.
Oh, that was an Elishnorn.
Yeah, so his hope was to try to hardcast the Elishnorn and try to, like... He was going to attack me with his derpy little guys.
A decent plan.
Which maybe was a mistake for me not playing out all the cards in my hand, but I was putting a priority on pumping the Walking Ballistas.
Yeah, Jorgensen said the other one, and I said Lotus Petal.
No, I figured, like... I kind of figured, like, I don't care how much mana he has. Because, like, I just have all the answers to all his threats. So, like, I had him covered with... I had his Grizzlebrand covered with the card drawing ability covered with the Revoker, and then I had the Ensnaring Bridge to just cover not being attacked. So that basically, like, covered every threat I knew about. But I guess he, like... sideboarded into Leyline of the Void, Helm of Awakening. Is his way to, like, kill me through Ensnaring Bridge.
Wow, the third combo.
The third. Yeah, he had 3 combos. So I don't know, maybe that was incorrect for me to keep cards in my hand and put a premium on pumping Walking Ballista. Maybe I should have focused more on trying to dump my hand. But I kind of was just like, I have enough mana to pump Walking Ballista twice a turn.
Oh, that was 100%
And
the
I
right
should
play.
just get him dead.
Yeah.
He's at 10. It's going to take me only 2 turns to get my guy there.
Yeah, I think after watching that, I've only recently picked up Walking Ballista, but I think that the Metalwork Colossus should be a Walking Ballista.
Yeah, Metalwork Colossus was the first card I boarded out.
Yeah, it's the #1 card I board out.
I didn't know how to board, so I was kind of just like, I'm going into this plan of, like, lock him down, kill him with a Walking Ballista, so I just boarded out a lot of the weird big threats, like...
Yeah, I would have taken out all 4 Batter Skulls.
Oh, okay. Yeah, what did I take? I took out the 2 Forge Masters, which probably seems wrong. I should have taken out Batter Skulls instead.
They can... it's an okay thing. It's a little bit slow, and often you don't have the artifacts to go and sack. You don't have the spare artifacts sitting on the table. So...
That's kind of how I felt. I felt it was too slow for the matchup.
A lot of the time it's a 3/5 with a big butt.
I was thinking about the Batter Skulls, and the reason I kept them in was because of lifelink.
Yeah.
It at least increases my clock, or my turn clock against a Grizzlebrand, like being able to gain 4 life. You saw game 1, just gaining the 3 life off of the Glimmerlands was enough to give me the extra turn that if he didn't have a way to just kill me, I could have found an out.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of between the Forge Master and the Batter Skulls, decided on the Batter Skulls. I felt like they had more utility. Don't bump the camera.
Yeah. If we have an earthquake this close to Yellowstone,
it looks like
we could.
Our pairings up. Yeah. All right. Let me go find out who these people
someone
are.
yelling.
Oh, the pairings and the Magic players.
Yeah, Jorgensen. You were right. Locked himself out.
Which table is super crooked? I was gonna fix it. That one. Red and white dice.
And Brandon is putting together Grixis. He's putting together a Grixis Delver. So one of these weeks in between rounds, we're going to watch Grixis Delver instead of Mud. But I always like I like watching mud. I like playing mud. Guess I'll prepare the names so that when he tells me I'm not deleting a whole bunch of stuff. A-team song stuck in my head. I'm willing to bet that this person on the right is Alan. I think I recognize his arms. Could be Bryce. I'm not so sure anymore. Nope. Not sure at all. I feel silly. If it's Alan, I'm gonna feel dumb for retracting that. Oh yeah, here's some tokens. Doesn't exactly look like death and taxes. Just waiting for Brandon to come back with some sideboard information and the names of the players and their decks. So far, not missing much. Don't know why I'm yawning. I just downed an entire Mountain Dew. Rock, paper, scissors, lizard, Spock. It kind of looked like what it was.
Who is it?
All right, now who is
All right.
it?
That one.
Okay.
So we've got Paul back again on lands.
This one?
Yep. And he will be battling with Steve on Grixis Delver.
I was not right on either of the people I thought it was. All right. Matchup we've seen before. Usually I don't like Grixis' odds here. It can go under.
Turn 1 Deathrite Shaman goes a long way in this matchup.
Yeah. We'll see if he has it.
It's not. Looks like
I saw a young Pyromancer.
an Underground Sea. I think. I didn't see a whole lot out of Steve's deck. He kind of just fanned it out for me. So I could just be really off base here, but I think he doesn't have green in his deck.
Okay.
To make the activations off of the Deathrite, which still not to say that you wouldn't play the Deathrite, but
yeah, it's still very good.
sure.
All right.
Not
so
having the Tropical Island, maybe you don't have the Deathrites, but
pitches Thespian Stage, cracks, probably goes against Forest, since he has the any color mana from the diamond.
it was rock, paper, scissors, lizards, Spock. That is how they decided who was going to take the play. So he just goes for a Taiga. Probably not afraid of Wasteland, I guess. Well, he's just going to crop rotate it, so...
So he just wanted to get a land that he didn't care about.
Sure.
Which is the expensive dual land.
Taigas aren't that expensive.
Compared to Shocklands.
They're less than like $100.
What about a forest?
So it
Digging
looks like
around
Force of Will,
arcades.
exiling Ponder for the crop rotation. Gonna leave Paul with just a Mox Diamond. See if he has a follow-up play. And it's a gamble.
He picked up his deck, and he didn't want that to go to waste.
His opponent gonna give Mox Diamond a read.
The fixed Mox, right? This one taps for all the colors, though.
Yeah. Gonna give him a shuffle. Gonna give Gamble a read. Kind of a weird one.
Definitely. It's weird that he didn't even seize play, don't you think? Like, I wouldn't pick that card out of a list and be like, this one is legacy playable.
It's kind of unintuitive, but in the right synergy, it's fantastic.
Yeah.
You know, when you really don't care what you're gambling away.
Yeah.
And in some cases, the card you gamble for, you hope is the card that gets discarded. Like, you get your Life from Loam, and you're just hoping that you're discarding the Life from Loam, so you can just immediately start dredging.
Yeah.
Chairs are comfortable.
No, they're not. Posture. Thespian Stage is the card that gets pitched.
Yeah, and the turn goes back to Steve, who fetches an Underground Sea and casts Young Pyromancer. No flip on the Delver. Guess we don't have Calvin here.
Hey, we watched him not flip it for like 4 turns.
Yeah, that's true.
But he had it anyway.
And a Wasteland is the draw for Paul. Not quite sure what else is going on in his hand. Punishing Fire is going to take care of that Young Pyromancer and pass the turn. Not a great start for Paul. Gonna draw a Young Pyromancer, will Steve. In for 1.
Not terrible, since he's only taking 1 a turn so far.
Yeah, not flipping this Delver has been really fortunate for Paul.
Definitely.
Add 4 more damage to that clock up to this point. We've got Paul at 13 on a much shorter clock, facing down a flip Delver and a Young Pyromancer, but...
Another Young Pyromancer, and that kind of looks like a Gurmag Angler in Steve's hand.
I can't tell. Probably. Yeah, just not a lot of pressure from Steve without being able to flip that Delver.
Barbarian Ring can hit anything, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and it
he's
does.
just going to take care of the Young Pyromancer. Wasteland away the Underground Sea. Curious why he attacked the black source over the red source. What are your thoughts? And the Delver flips.
Smoky. The back of that smoky sleeve.
I'm sure probably correct to attack the black source, but just curious what might be the thought process going behind that decision.
I just saw that card Cabal Therapy, so maybe that. I don't really think that he cares, though.
Yeah, kind of thinking that the card I'm afraid of out of...
Deathrite Shaman?
Okay, that seems valid. I'd be afraid of a Deathrite Shaman with this slow of a start, with Punishing Fire in my graveyard. Like, I think a Life from the Loam would really do Paul a lot of work here, and so a Deathrite Shaman might be very problematic, so...
Yeah.
Probably good reason to attack the black source.
So, we're going to cycle here.
Also, a lot of these Grixis lists only play like 2 Young Pyromancers, and so having already killed 2, maybe you're just not afraid of the potential red cards left in Steve's deck, but we can see Steve has a 3rd in his hand.
Yeah, other than Young Pyromancer, I can't think of very many red cards he's very afraid of. Like, Bolt increases the clock by 1 turn, but that's not as much of a worry as
Mana Bond.
Mana Bond. Just gonna be... It's an enchantment, so at the end
Looks like only a couple cards for Paul to discard, so it's not going to be as
explosive
as it is on turn 1. Paul kind of already whittled down here on resources. Looks like he's just going to...
drop 1 more land this turn.
Yeah.
Or was that his first land? Not sure.
Yeah, not sure.
So, what is this?
Flooded Strand is the
draw. And is that a Gurmag Angler? That's a Gurmag Angler.
Yeah, that is definitely a Gurmag Angler.
The Ladyfish.
Got some lag going on.
Oops, that is not the thing. It fixed it anyway.
And he's going to fetch. You think he's going to get an Underground Sea?
100%.
I noticed that fanning through his deck just now, Steve had some invocations, but I'm not allowed to say anything about that.
Yeah, don't.
Young Pyromancer the play instead of Gurmag Angler. Curious. Why not the Gurmag Angler? That's a 1-turn clock.
Maybe he's afraid that Thespian Stage is going to make a Dark Depths, and he'd rather have the tokens, and just so he can go wide and get around it. I don't know if I agree with that, but maybe that's the logic.
Okay.
I'm doing some mental gymnastics to figure it out.
I'm kind of liking to just put 8 power on the board and hope that you don't make the Merit Lage and kill you.
Eventually he'll hit a bolt, and so...
And there's the Merit Lage. So maybe that's gonna... Well, no, because he would have just been dead this turn anyway.
Yeah.
But... So, I mean, he can still... just be dead, actually, because...
We got a reader.
What he really needed was to be able to make a token on end step, so that he could untap and have 6 power attacking. And here he's only going to have 5. So the Merit Lage will just block the Delver and then swing in for lethal the next turn, which means Steve just can't attack because he needs that Delver on chump blocking duty.
Yeah, so Paul also needs the Merit Lage to be blocking.
Paul also can't attack here.
So we have a stare off here, and Steve is the one with reach. And he has a plan to get around this, the Merit Lage eventually. I think he's favored in this situation.
I think so too. I think that the...
Avatar?
No. Oh my gosh, my brain just went blank on what the word is. The advantage bar.
Oh,
That's what it's called.
Advantage meter?
I think the advantage meter is definitely in Steve's favor.
Over here.
Or this way? I don't know which way the chat sees it. Well, no, this way, because Steve's favored. Oh. That's weird.
Yeah, look at my hand.
Because we're mirrored.
Look at my hand. Fusion.
Ah. Is he still resolving his brainstorm here?
Yeah.
Trying to decide amongst what looks like a Spell Pierce invocation?
Yeah, Spell Pierce, Force of Will. Probably that Gurmag Angler still sitting in his hand.
Gonna give the
Dark Depths one more read. I hope he makes the right decision and does not attack into that. Okay, so we're gonna have a real game here. Kind of a fan of just cracking that. Does he have another black source in his deck? He's got it. That he can get off of Scalding Turn?
Oh, I'm sure he's got at least one more Underground Sea and potentially a Badlands.
Okay. So why not just fire off Cabal Therapy?
Not sure why. So, unless Paul's got something, he's just going to force the issue. Curious if he picked up potentially...
That's a crop rotation, so he's going to be able to get Punishing Fire.
Grow over the Burn Willows and make his Punishing Fire.
Force of Will this.
He's going to Force a Will, pitching what we believe is Spell Pierce.
Yep.
Yep, definitely Spell Pierce.
Go down to 13, and that'll take the game.
Yeah, that's the game. Yeah, not sure what that...
Yeah, he put the Delver back into play for some reason.
Yeah, that was weird. Upside down. Not sure I quite understand, but yeah, there goes game 1. Steve, wow.
Maybe it was, I don't know.
I don't know either. Alright. Well, that was the end of game 1. We're going to head to sideboarding here, get ready for game 2. Well, we know on Paul's side he's got 2 copies of Surgical Extraction, 1 Thorn of Amethyst, 1 Chalice of the Void, 4 Sphere of Resistance, 1 Caracas, 1 Crucible, 2 Tireless Tracker, 3 Crosan Grip. And on Steve's side, he's got 1 Painful Truths, 1 Pithing Needle, 1 Flusterstorm, 2 more copies of Cabal Therapy, 2 more Red Elemental Blasts, a Grim Lavamancer, a Dread of Night, a Surgical Extraction, 1 Ancient Grudge, 1 Engineered Explosives, and 1 True Name Nemesis. What do you like here from these players?
So for the lands deck, I still like Chalice Sphere of Resistance. Maybe a Grip if he's anticipating a Pithing Needle. Which is, I think that's pretty I think that's pretty likely. And then for Steve, I would say, what's Painful Truth is the draw.
Yeah,
Painful Truths I actually like because your life total doesn't matter until you're dead from a 2020.
Okay.
Pithing Needle, I think that's also good. You can stop the depths from ever happening with an Evening Thespian stage. Probably, I don't know, probably even board out the Cabal Therapies. So I'm not going to be putting those in. Lava Mancer, considerable. It's just
as a turn 1 clock.
Yeah, like Deathrite Shaman 5. Like, it's not going to add you any mana, but it's going to ping him.
It gets threats on the board.
Surgical I like. Ancient Grudge I like. True Name I like. There's a lot of stuff that Steve can bring in that's relevant. And
so I guess the question now stands, what does Steve board out? What does Steve not like in this matchup?
Probably Lightning Bolts, Cabal Therapy.
Definitely the Fatal Pushes, I'm sure he's got in his deck. Lots of things to not like
Paul
here.
might even bring in the Tireless Trackers.
I think I like the Tireless Trackers.
Maybe not a ton, but maybe like a one of to just like block some tokens and get some card advantage.
Well, we will see what these players do. And for now, we'll flip over to the second table where we've got Bryce versus Kyer. So our Tuesday night stream team
Battling it out.
is battling out for glory and fame. So it looks like we've got Grixis Delver and Chiron Jund, his kind of signature deck, which we found out Kyer is purposely playing with mismatched cards in his deck. It's kind of his gig.
Just sees as many art.
It's just what he does. He just loves the art. And he just wants as many different artworks in his deck as he can. I don't know if I'm proud to say or if I'm ashamed to say that I contributed to that today. Traded him the WMCQ promo Abrupt Decay, so now he's got 4 different artworks of Abrupt Decay in his deck. So we got a Tarmogoyf versus Young Pyromancer.
Ashamed for sure. Goyf Dice coming in. Not really visible from this height.
Kind of just looks like it's not even there. Gonna be a Grim Flayer, I think, is the play.
Yep. Bryce going back up to 20.
Grim Flayer looks really good, I think, against Young Pyromancer.
Oh, yeah. Especially with Delirium.
Which...
Oh, I think he's one shy.
1, 2, 3. It looks like he's just got Land, Planeswalker, and Sorcery? I can't tell what that card is behind the Liliana. A Thoughtseize, perhaps? I can't really tell at all, but...
Lord only knows. Other table just shuffling still.
Which table is the stream seeing?
The one on the right.
Oh, okay. Lightning Bolt. So that's actually not going to kill the Tarmogoyf.
Oh, he snap bolted.
Oh, he snap bolt.
Bolt, snap, bolt.
All right, that will kill the Tarmogoyf. So the interesting clause there is that even though... Or no, there were 3 types in the graveyard, right? Yeah, there were 3 types. Okay.
It must have been... I don't know, unless that's a sorcery.
Yeah, there are 3 types in the graveyard, so that was right out of Bryce. For a minute, I thought there were 2 types in the graveyard. Sometimes that gets players where they, oh, your Goyf's a 2/3.
Bolt it. Oh,
They bolt
it doesn't die.
Add the instant to the graveyard. State-based effects take place. Tarmogoyf becomes a 3/4. Has 1 toughness.
So we're going to go back to the other match that we were following from the start. Sorry if you were already invested. Exploration, gonna put Paul ahead on lands.
So that's the kind of good start that Paul needs.
Yeah.
He needs to get out ahead of the Delver player here, which we saw he failed to do game 1, and that Delver was able to race him.
He kept in the Cabal Therapy. Steve did. And, you know, he doesn't even want to play it on turn 1.
Maybe that was an issue of just maybe not having enough to bring in and board out.
No way.
Well, I mean, think about between the amount of lightning bolts he has, the amount of fatal pushes he has. That's a lot of cards. I would argue that those cards are potentially worse than the Cabal Therapy possibly is.
I like the bolt. I think just the reach.
Just being able to shoot him in the face.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
I guess there is always the consideration that they'll bring in tireless trackers against you. Maybe you want to have coverage for that.
I think just one, the reach, and two, what are you hitting with Cabal Therapy? I don't know.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
They want everything to be in the yard, or it's a land.
I guess you're on the play. You name Exploration or Mana Bond.
But he's not on the play. He was on the
Yeah,
draw.
he's on the draw here too. But looks like Paul's just going to play his 2 land drops and immediately create a Merit Lage token. So, any reason for doing that right away? He's probably considering Wasteland.
Stifle.
And Stifle? Okay. Lots of good reasons.
Yep, and he's just going to scoop it up already. And while they're shuffling, let's go back.
Stifle, though, is interesting because it doesn't actually solve the problem.
No.
You can stifle the Thespian stage, but then you're just dealing with it next turn.
Yeah. Well, doesn't it still sack? No, it doesn't.
No, because if you just stifle the trigger, it doesn't become
I'm just used to lands
Thespian
activating
stage.
and sacking. It's just a copy.
Yeah. So become the copy, and then that's when the sack trigger, or to remove the counters, goes on the stack.
So Grim Flayer has Delirium, and there's a Liliana in for Kyre, but that doesn't... Liliana doesn't look great against all of these 1/1s.
And Grim Flayer not looking great against all these 1/1s. 2 Young Pyromancers. So Kyre can't even try to attack and trample through here because he can just get quad blocked by a bunch of these 1/1s, and the next turn Bryce will probably have replaced them.
I never feel like I'm spelling Kyre's name right. Hello, Carter.
How are you doing?
This is Grixis, right?
Yes. Alright. Kyre's going to reach in for some mana. It's a Bloodbraid Elf. I'm going to go cascading into a Lightning Bolt. Probably going to dome one of those Pyromancers.
And I don't think the haste is very relevant here.
No, definitely not attacking. Considering what he's going to do with this Wasteland. Hitting the Volcanic Island.
Because there's a chance he'd just attack and...
He just for 4.
He just poops out a 1/1 and blocks. So yeah, he's going to attack with the more relevant.
Okay, he's going to go looking.
I'm good too, Carter. Thanks for asking. Just joking. Jokes! So, Kyre going to be able to put any of these cards into the yard off of the Grim Flayer trigger.
He's looking at Deathrite Shaman.
Red card.
And yeah, 2 other cards.
I would say Pyroblast? Or Red Elemental Blast? That's what I want to say that it looks like.
Lava Spike.
What?
Lava
Got it.
Axe.
That's Pyroblast.
Okay, you were right. He's just going to top them all. He wants everything.
Oh, a Diabolic Edict in Kyre's hand. Doesn't look great here.
Yeah, pretty abysmal. Curious if they're in game 1 or 2.
Yeah.
Given how fast the other table has gone, I wouldn't be surprised if they were still in game 1. But then I might be surprised if Kyre has a Diabolic Edict in his main deck. So I'm assuming they're in at least game 2.
I say we just stay here.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
We've seen enough destruction out of lands. What in the butt?
Fist bump.
What is that? Oh, this is from the new Commander set. This is one of those new commanders, and I don't know its name.
Yeah, you want to get the name on that? Before Jurgensen tells us what it is? Run.
I knew it was from the new Commander set because I recognize the art. Kess. K-E-S-S, comma, space, Dissident Mage is the name of the card.
Duh.
Yeah, it just doesn't show up. I guess these Commander sets were just released today.
Oh, so they're not even on magiccards.info. So if you're going to want to know what Kess does...
I don't know their names yet either. I just recognize that artwork, though.
Do you know what it does?
Let me go find out. I thought we were just going to pull it up.
Yeah, so I can bring it up. I can bring it up.
Oh, can you?
It's Google.
Haha! The magic of Google. I know it's a wizard because it's from the Wizard tribal deck.
It lets you Snapcaster
every turn. That's spicy. What just happened? I just missed something.
Maelstrom Pulse. Wait.
Well, I think there were some blocks. I think he attacked with his Grimflare. There were some blocks. Now he's pulsing, and Bryce is making some obscene gestures with his hands. Yeah. And still not looking great. A lot of resources coming out. That's where we're at, Carter, TCG player. Sean just needs to hurry up, get the card on the stream for you guys.
Oh, it's tough because it's from a different site than we usually use.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's broken.
Excuses again.
I don't even know why this isn't working.
Start mashing buttons until it works. Thought Seize is the play for Bryce. The last card in Kyre's hand, Diabolic Edict. Yeah, it's not working, so why don't we just read it?
Oh, I found the corner.
Haha, there it is. Oh, hello.
Hello, beautiful. Look at that. That's what resolution we get on TCG Player.
Gross.
I know.
Okay, I still can't even read that.
During each of your turns, you may cast an instant or sorcery card from your graveyard. If a card cast this way would be put into your graveyard this turn, exile it instead. So that's just a long way of saying flashback.
Yeah, so it's like Jorgensen said, it's a Snapcaster every turn. But a Colligan's command is going to put it back into Bryce's hand and get some more triggers on the Young Pyromancer. He's going to cast it. It's going to get met with a Pyroblast.
One of those colors is blue, so yeah.
And smash, Will Bryce.
Oh,
Many
another
damage.
Pyroblast.
And that's at least game 2 or 1.
See how this other game is shaping up.
I wish I was on a couch.
I think he's on that couch. Like right outside? Are you on your own couch, or are you here?
He's on his couch. Well, fun, Carter. This is fun. He's just outside these walls in a completely different room, and we're interacting it with him through the power and magic of the internet.
Our voices are going into the great vastness of the internet, up to the Twitch servers, back over here for him to listen to.
Okay. Jorgensen brings up a good point. It's a little different than Flashback, as Flashback exiles a card upon resolution.
Exiles when you cast spells with... Oh. So, yeah, the slight difference is that if something would not go to the graveyard when it resolves, it doesn't...
It would go back, yeah. So
slightly better.
Yeah. In weird corner cases, you could remand the spell, get it back in your hand.
I would say that's relevant in Commander, but not in Legacy.
Probably not, but this card designed for Commander, so...
Yeah.
There you have it. True Name Nemesis Deathrite Shaman staring down kind of a lot of nothing on Paul's side. These have been some kind of slow starts, but...
Can't see the glare here, but this might just be a strip mine.
It's
and that looks like a strip mine.
Two strip mine ghost quarters.
Not firing off that second one, because...
Kyre is sitting on one of the feature match tables, Carter. The one that's not covered in playmats. The right one.
You could wave your hand in front of the camera and be Twitch famous for about 2 seconds before we run out there and...
So...
Yeah, Paul has to stop this clock somehow, and I'm not sure how he's going to do that.
No, it's been just really, curious here. Do you just wasteland the Ghost Quarter? Get it over with?
I think he needs that land to
got
develop a plan.
He's got a land in his hand. 2 lands in his hand, actually. Volcanic Island and Polluted Delta. You just...
Oh, Steve?
Yeah. Steve wasteland the Ghost Quarter, just to get rid of it.
Yeah.
He's just gonna smash for 4.
He's ahead.
Interesting. I kind of like wastelanding the Ghost Quarter, making my Polluted Delta, so that I can eat the life from the loam. I kind of don't like giving Paul the ability to untap and dredge.
If Paul didn't have another land in his hand, which 100% he does, that would just cut him off, and he wouldn't be able to cast life from the loam at all.
Closest to the restrooms, Carter. And Punishing Fire for the Deathrite Shaman.
That is going to give him another turn.
It's going to give him some time, yeah.
Exactly one more turn, unless this this Delver hits. The Delver is probably going to meet the same fate.
I would imagine so. At this point, there's no reason to let him untap with it. I don't know. Maybe you let him flip it, get some information out of his draw.
So
but then you risk running your Punishing Fire into like Spell Pierce or something along those lines. Ghost Quarter just going to take care of the
one colored source.
One colored source. And looks like he's just going to go after the Wasteland and just force the issue. He's going to say, you have no lands, I have a Mox Diamond. But I think he's going to go ahead and put the Punishing Fire back.
I'll be waiting on bated breath.
There's a land. And Taiga is the land for Paul.
T is for Taiga.
And Life from Loam. The floating mana. Gonna get back some lands.
Flips a Daze. Not a relevant spell besides flipping the Delver, I would say.
But I think at this point, any spell is relevant because it flips the Delver.
Yeah, that's the main mode in what's happening here.
Not sure if there's a whole lot that interacts favorably with Paul at this point.
See, that Cabal Therapy is still in his hand.
Yeah, I agree. It probably should not have been there. I also... Look at Paul's last turn. All that stemmed from being able to dredge Life from the Loam. I think he should have made the Polluted Delta and been able to eat that Life from the Loam. And I would have wasted the Ghost Quarter just to protect that land that I fetched, too.
That's more than fair.
Just so I have my colorless source, but...
That might not even matter, because...
It might not, because Paul's on a one-turn clock unless he can handle these threats.
And the...
Punishing Fire is going to take care of the Delver of Secrets, barring any interaction out of Steve's side, but he's just going to Daze here, which Paul can pay for. He has a Ghost Quarter.
Yeah. It
protects
his land?
No sense to, not Daze. Protect your land. Make him decide if he wants to kill the Delver or Ghost Quarter me. Which, if you're Paul, I imagine you take the route that doesn't leave you dead next turn, right? Or maybe a misstep based on the posture there from Steve. Maybe didn't notice the Ghost Quarter in the corner there hiding. And in for 3. Down to 1 goes Paul. 2 lands, Cabal Therapy is the hand for Steve.
Just land go.
Paul gonna untap. What can he draw here?
Nothing.
Yeah. I think he's just...
Glacial Chasm.
Oh, Glacial Chasm, yeah. Yeah, Glacial Chasm gives him some turns. Looks like he found a Sheltered Thicket, and you're gonna cycle. Maze of Ith, I think, was the draw.
Yeah, Maze of Ith does not target a true name.
It would if it could target, but it can't, unfortunately, for
So
Paul.
it won't.
It won't.
I think this is the end of the game.
Yeah, this looks like Steve has wrapped it up. It's going to be a Life from Loam from Paul. Going to grab some lands back.
There's nothing in there. I think that maybe he doesn't even have enough mana to cycle again.
Who's Edgar Markov?
I have no idea.
I know Soren Markov.
But
Is Edgar like his brother? His dad?
The unknown brother in the Markov family?
From like magic lore, I'm assuming he's related to Soren Markov. Like he's a vampire of Innistrad.
Welcome back, Carter.
Hello, Carter. Good to join us again. Alright, well, we're going to jump away because that game is done, I believe. And I believe this is probably game 3. So I imagine we're at 1 game apiece, right?
Edgar Markov is the creator of the Markov family, from what I understand. Like, the Soren family?
Yeah, Soren Markov. So Edgar Markov is like, I guess, the dad vampire.
Some dude on Innistrad?
Yeah, and I guess he's just the head of the Markov clan house.
Oh, his grandpappy.
His granddaddy. That makes sense. Can you imagine how old Soren Markov's granddad must be? Soren Markov is like thousands of years old in the Magic lore.
Yeah.
His granddad's got to be like Nicol Bolas old.
When you're that old, do you care about anything anymore?
Nicol Bolas still cares about taking over the world.
Well, he has to for story reasons.
To further the plot, this guy needs to care about things.
So, a couple of Cabal therapies ripping apart the cards on the table that are Kyre's hand.
Maelstrom Pulse, Liliana the Veil, and a card that I don't recognize. Do you know what that is?
No.
I don't know what that is. It's over 9,000.
So Submerge, Foily Submerge coming in here.
Ooh, that's so nice. I love a Submerge.
Yeah. It's been targeting Tarmogoyf for years.
Still good.
Ooh, is this surgical counter or sorcery for Bryce? I think that's what was in his hand. I hit back enough. I think I should be able to bring it up. Huh.
Oh, invasive surgery? Is that what you're
Invasive
talking about?
surgery. Yeah.
Okay. That could be. I think invasive surgery seems pretty good against Jund.
Yeah.
But Wasteland took care of Bryce's only blue source.
See, that's got to be invasive surgery.
Yeah, discarded the invasive surgery to the Liliana uptick. Bryce with no blue sources. It looks like he has another invasive surgery in hand, though. Gonna point disdainfully at the Liliana. Ripping apart his hand. Here comes Tarmogoyf again for Kyre. He's got the Kess in his hand among a lightning bolt and I think another invasive surgery.
Yeah.
So this hand not gonna do a whole lot.
Oh, that's Punishing Fire.
What is Punishing Fire?
The card that
Kyre
it's
just
pulled out.
Yeah, it's just the older artwork. Or what artwork is that?
Some artwork, probably from a dual deck.
Okay, that makes sense. Because the Zendikar printing was the first printing of Punishing Fire, right?
Zendikar was the first.
Okay. Oh,
And
so
this
this
one
does
is-
look like a dual deck.
Yeah, the Knights versus Dragons. I'll bring up that pretty art because I like it, and
It is kind of cool. Just a dragon got done incinerating a knight.
I don't see Grove of the Burn Willows anywhere on that card. They should just build it into the card because it's just
a part of
Yeah.
a part of it. Maelstrom Pulse Mystery card are the cards in Kyre's hand. It looks like we'll probably figure out pretty quick what they are. 1 mana, he's going to get the Punishing Fire back. Uptick Liliana 6, he's just going to discard the Punishing Fire. So, whatever the mystery card be, Swamp. Oh, so Kyre just really wanted the Swamp, and he really wanted to keep the Maelstrom Pulse.
after this match, I don't mind if you sit in. Do you mind?
No, not really. Grove is the draw for Kyre.
Grove not really changing much. That might just see a Liliana plus.
Yeah, I imagine that's what you're getting rid of to the Liliana here.
Liliana ults at 6 though.
I think you do want to uptick it one more time, just so that when you ult it, you can still have it. But the Lightning Bolt going to attack it as it's the last card in Bryce's hand. Better than putting it in the graveyard. Give yourself a few more turns before facing the dreaded Lily Ultimate. Honestly, not too painful here for Bryce, as it would just separate his lands into 2 piles, and he would just choose which pile he'd rather keep.
Yeah.
I imagine the split would probably be Scalding Tarn Swamp. But
Thank you for the larger dice, Kyre. We were confused.
yeah, we couldn't.
Why don't you just hang out with everybody on Twitch?
We're having fun here. Lily gonna uptick. Scalding Tarn gonna get sacrificed for Bryce. He's gonna go search and find a basic island. Comes into play tapped. That doesn't come into play tapped. What's he doing?
What?
It's basic island. Oh, he's gonna cast a brainstorm.
Oh.
3 cards. Polluted Delta, Gurmag Angler, Colligan's Command. So you just keep Polluted Delta in your hand and stack those other 2. Gurmag Angler. Discard the Polluted Delta, draw the Gurmag Angler. Not great, though.
No, the Gurmag Angler is just gonna die.
Yeah.
Kolokhan's Command can't get back.
Kind of a lock Bryce is in here because Colligan's Command can get back a creature, but then he can't cast that creature, and he's just going to have to discard it to Liliana the Veil.
It's gonna be able to get back Gurmag Angler, and he's gonna be able to cast that.
After the Liliana downticks here
Yeah.
and kills it, he'll get it back again, forcing Kyre to downtick again.
Yeah.
So, giving himself some time in the face of this ultimate, but
Those.
the ultimate I don't think relevant
The
because
Goyf-
Kyre's got 8 power on the board, I
Yeah,
believe.
that's not giving him very much time. I think that this is all locked up.
Yeah, that Liliana's pretty much, I think, locked Bryce out of this game.
If anything goes wrong, he can just Punishing Fire Bryce out of the game. From 6, that's 6
six turn clock.
like 4 Punishing Fires. I'm not great at math.
It's a 6 turn clock.
Okay.
Colligan's Command gonna point at the Grimflayer, I guess. Or is he gonna say discard a card? 2 damage to Grimflayer, discard a card. So I guess Kyre didn't have Delirium? Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess he didn't.
Oh, that's surprising.
I thought he did. He was at, wasn't Bryce at 14 last turn? Punishing Fire, gonna drop Bryce to 5.
Maybe Punishing Fire was the thing giving him Delirium.
But it was in his graveyard. Wasn't it? Oh, I guess I don't know.
I think
yeah.
he discarded it to...
Okay, so he had put it back into his hand, lost Delirium, and that gave Bryce the window in
Yeah, but
response to the Punishing Fire to kill the
I don't
the
know.
guy.
I have no idea. It looks like he... Oh. I was going to say he scoops it up, but Kyre's lack of movement is... Okay.
Yeah, it looks like this game is done, and it's going to Kyre here on Punishing Jund versus Grixis Delver, starring Kess, Dissident Mage.
Alright. So...
Let's go check on... I'll go check on time in the round and see.
do you mind if I step out for a second?
Sure.
Instead. I guess I'll fix that up real quick.
Yeah, sure. Let Carter in. How you doing?
Good. Never actually sat in on the stream before.
Player's just gonna be de-sideboarding here. And get ready for round 3. Should be coming up soon here at Paragon City Games. Thanks for joining us tonight, everybody. We appreciate you guys coming out and being with us every week while we try to bring you some sweet legacy content. If you guys like podcasts, make sure to check out some of our affiliates, if I can find our link.
You might be able to put them in the link in the description.
Yeah, I can't find it.
There's 2 minutes and like 30 seconds.
Where's that list of all our shoutouts?
Oh,
Can't find that. I was gonna shout out all our affiliates, and then I realized that I don't remember who they are.
doop.
I couldn't
Doop.
find the
Stream plugs.
Stream plugs. There we go. You showed me that. I remember. Kitchen Table Magic, where I wish they had the name of the host. Kitchen Table Magic, though, it's a fun podcast. I've listened to it a few times. They just have fun stories and interviews. Looks like the latest episode is featuring Richard Garfield, so that's really cool.
I heard Richard Garfield just made a new game.
I think I've heard something about that too. It doesn't say the name of the guy here either, though. That's frustrating.
But there's a link to the Kitchen Table Magic.
Contact?
Yeah, let's see if he has his name on contact. Oh, there's an about page.
Yeah, go to the About page.
Sam
Tang. So Sam Tang, the host, he's based out of Seattle. Hosts Kitchen Table Magic. It's a fun podcast. So check that out if you guys are ever bored or at work. It's kind of what I do at my desk. I just listen to podcasts all day.
I do that while I play Magic.
Yes, another unset called Unstable.
Are you excited for that? I don't really plan on drafting it very much. I don't
probably
ever draft.
I will probably never touch a pack of Unstable.
Maybe if the lands are good. I don't usually play colored lands, so...
I mean, if the lands are good, I'll just try to get the lands.
Yeah.
But I don't see the need to ruin a good draft format by adding silly wonkiness. I wasn't a fan of the conspiracy drafts.
Usually for new sets, I look for it through Pauper, Legacy, Modern. See if there's any staples in there. Yeah, it's. I think it's a drafters format, right? Like
the Unstable.
Yeah.
I think it's definitely geared towards casual drafters and EDH players. Kind of that realm of Magic player would be drawn to it, you know.
But yeah, the cards kind of get printed and then they never see play again. Like
Well,
I haven't.
they're just not legal.
Yeah,
right?
well, I mean, like you can't play them against other people. Like
Some people can.
yeah, I've seen people do it, and I'm just like, oh gosh.
Play against my Johnny Hot Sauce Pancakes Banana deck. I don't know what the card is called. Sneaky Pants?
Oh
Or
yeah.
Sneaky Face? Play against my Sneaky Face deck.
Yeah.
Oh, I snuck it into play under my land. Gotcha, new player at FNM.
And they're like, oh, that's clever. Yeah, I don't know. It's just like self-referential jokes that
Gonna go.
go a little.
Let's go
flat
check
for me.
on
I think
the round here. It's probably gonna get posted soon, and we'll get.
I heard someone yelling out there.
I just wonder what kind of different cards they're going to put in.
I haven't. Have they released any spoilers?
I can check.
Contraptions are in unstable, so they finally printed some more contraptions. By that I mean the first. And the Sword of Dungeons and Dragons. Okay, I have to look that one up because I play Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, that's cool.
Whoa, this site is slow.
Some of the new cards from Exelon look pretty cool.
Okay. What does it even do? I'll read that off real quick here. Oh, the internet is not quick. So it's an equipment, gets +2/+2, and has protection from rogues and clerics. You get it because those are D&D sets. It's a 3-mana artifact. Whenever a equipped creature deals combat damage to a player, create a 4/4 gold dragon creature token with flying and roll a d20. If you roll a d20, repeat this process. Oh, if you roll 20, yeah, if you roll a 20, then you create a 4/4.
You should post the link in the chat. So I can...
Well, it's just a Google link, so it's gonna be like super long, but yeah, that's the link to the Sword of Dungeons and Dragons. So it looks like we're going to be seeing Kyre again. I would be willing to bet... Oh yeah, the dragon is just gold. It's not multicolored, just gold. I didn't catch that. It's kind of funny. Yeah, the dragon's in the background of the picture, and then the sword is like both a mace and a sword. Somehow.
I did bring it up in YouTube.
Hmm. So, let's see. Is this going to be land against Juns? Lands against Jund. I think so. No? It looks like Death and Taxes against Jund. Or lands against... Oh, what was this deck? Grixis? Or is... Lands must just be off. Yeah, lands lost that last game, so it must be off. So it's Bryce against... Oh, there's a Grixis mirror match? Or... Death and Taxes against Jund. What do we want to see? You don't have deck lists for that? No. For Friday Night Magic, we don't do deck lists. It's just... Yeah. Friday night, people just want to show up and play Magic, I think. I don't make the policy. It's a little bit annoying from a casting perspective, but not bad. Any votes on what we want to see? I think I want to see Death and Taxes. It's been a little bit since I've seen this deck, and I don't think I've seen it against Jund yet. At least, I think that's what this is. I saw a Swords to Plowshares.
Alright. Let's stay on,
Are we going?
No, this is the table. Great. So, Alan, Death and Taxes,
And then
and Kyre, Punishing Gem.
Okay, this is the one I was.
Yeah.
This
This is the one I wanted to stay on. The other table's a Grixis Delver Mirror.
Yeah.
So, pull this card up on the thing, because this is something that Alan's playing, and he just showed me what it was, and I wrote its name down. I have no idea what it does, but it's an artifact.
What is it?
Hammer of Nazan. I have never even heard of this card before.
What? Hammer of Nazan.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an artifact that it's
That's not popping up. There's Hammer of Ruin?
it's Nazan's new card.
Oh, it's a new one.
Oh, gosh. All these stinky new cards. No wonder I've never heard of it.
I was like, an artifact that I haven't heard of?
Okay, turn 1 Deathrite Shaman for Kyre. Fetching with his Bloodstained Mire, grabbing a Badlands.
So
And it looks like Liliana is going to be the play.
So it's a 4-mana legendary equipment that when Hammer of Nazan or another equipment enters the battlefield under your control, you may attach that equipment to target creature you control.
Oh.
So, and it has +2/+0 and indestructible. So it gives a power, indestructible, and you can.
That means your Batter Skull just immediately comes into play and pops onto your indestructible guy.
Yeah,
That's cool. That's actually kind of cool. I get behind this.
It's 4 mana to equip otherwise, but I don't think you're ever paying for that. It's just
No, 'cause you're
hopping
just-
onto whatever.
Trying to put it into play with Stoneforge Mystic. Not sure if that's going to be happening this game, as Stoneforge Mystic will likely just die to Liliana. Yeah, Phyrexian Revoker, not an option with Stoneforge Mystic. I think he got a little ahead of himself there, but...
You saw a 2-mana artifact and assumed it was a GT or something.
There it is! Oh, wait.
Hello, Immortalis. So
Batter
he's going to
Skull.
grab a Batter Skull. That's kind of interesting when he's facing down a Lily.
Well, I kind of like it. I mean, yeah, the Germ can bite it to the Liliana, but it's a recurable threat.
Mm.
And so I think that Alan is probably trying to gear up for a long game here, where he knows that he's going to have to try to force his way through this Liliana eventually.
So part of me wants to say that... Okay, let's see.
This
4
looks
mana.
like a Bloodbraid Elf.
Yeah.
No, a Tarmogoyf and
Another
a
Tarmogoyf.
Tarmogoyf.
So he's going to put a clock on him first, and then hope that Alan plays a little more cards out of his hand. And then... he has a Hymn to Turok in his hand. So he's going to
Okay.
narrow down the cards that Alan has in his hand, and then try to get that Batter Skull, probably.
I like that. Aether Vial would be the play from Alan. Not as good at turn 3 against this board as it would have been on turn 1.
Yeah.
So little late to the party is this Aether Vial.
And just using Rishadenport doesn't look good here either.
I don't like leaving the mana with Rishadenport.
Like,
It kind of just feels like a waste of 2 mana.
it's too late now.
Yeah. Kyre is already too well established here with plenty of lands and a Deathrite Shaman if he can find another land to put in the graveyard.
I don't know what other action Alan has, though. I would hope that a Swords to Plowshares would help.
And it'll be a Stoneforge Mystic, and I'd probably go get the Jite?
I have stopped trying to figure out what they're going to get before they do.
Because he's just going to get the Hammer of Nazan.
Yeah, okay. I wouldn't have named that. So that's main deck. Okay.
Yeah, that was in the main deck, sorry.
So now, yeah, and Kyra's going to read that like the rest of us. The Lily has to choose, does it want to stay on the field? Or does it want to get rid of this Stoneforge while it can?
I think
you just give up your Lily. That Batterskull is pretty threatening.
Yeah. Well, if you can find a way to kill the Stoneforge Mystic, the minus ability will take care of that indestructible Batterskull if he's able to put the hammer onto it.
Yeah.
Onto that germ.
So
the issue there being though that Kyra needs to make sure he has a way to keep the board clear, which it looks like he doesn't. He's just got him to Turok.
He's going to be able to absolutely rip apart his hand though, because he's going to be able to him to Turok, then Thoughtseize, then plus Lily. That's 4 cards in a turn.
That's access to a lot of cards here. Gonna discard the Batterskull. There's hit 1.
So
See what he hits this time around.
Alan's going to be down to 1 card in hand after this just barrage.
Wow, and the hammer.
Oh,
He hit both of the Stoneforge targets there. Funny, he's just gonna smash in there with his big old Tarmogoyfs, which I believe are 3/4s. Sorcery, creature, artifact.
Yep. It's kind of
I
funny.
guess he's gonna think about it. Never didn't not have it, did Kyre?
I don't even know what that means. I think it means Kyre's doing well.
It means sack.
Oh.
Wow, so all the equipment were in Alan's hand there, along with Mirror Crusader and Containment Priest. Probably just got to rip this Mirror Crusader, right? Or do you just handle it with Liliana the Veil? And you just take care of the Containment Priest so that you can know you cast your spells?
I think you're least concerned about that GTA.
Yeah. I don't think the GTA is on the radar at this point.
I even think that after he pluses this Lily, the GTA is going to hit the yard.
Yeah, if Alan wants to waste his turn playing and equipping GTA in the face of a Liliana Edict, he just still needs to find a way to deal with this
that's what he's going to do.
Stoneforge Mystic. But I don't think any reason to not attack here.
Oh, definitely.
I mean, are your 3/4s?
And all he has is a 2/2 in his hand.
Yeah.
Alan does. I think you're fine letting Lily take a point of damage if that's what
I mean, if you're really worried about it, just bump Uglies with the Stoneforge Mystic and your Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah.
Hope that Alan doesn't have a gut shot. Probably wouldn't, right?
Probably not. Doesn't really synergize with Thalia that well.
Oof, 2 life and a mana to gut shot.
Yeah.
Still worth it.
No. I crossed my arms first. You can't copy me like that.
Just do the Jamie thing.
Alright, it looks like Tarmogoyf was the pickup for Kyre. And he will cast... No, it's an Abrupt Decay on the Aether Vial. So, not a lot of resources left for Alan. 1 colored source of mana, so we can't even cast the dude in his hand. What makes you not be able to cast spells of a chosen number?
He can put it in the yard, though, off of Lily.
He can.
That's what he did.
What is its name?
Sanctum Prelate.
Sanctum Prelate. Thank you. Down to 6 goes Alan. He's looking at a wasteland on the Badlands. Down to 4, drain from the Deathrite Shaman. In response to the Wasteland activation, Phyrexian Revoker.
Probably naming Lily.
Probably naming Lily, but...
No, Deathrite Shaman. I don't think it matters.
Yeah, at that point didn't matter.
Yeah.
Name the Lily, lose a creature, take lethal. Name the Deathrite Shaman, lose... Or name the Lily, die to Deathrite Shaman plus Tarmogoyf. You're just kind of dead there, Alan. So to sideboards he goes, grabbing for his 1 copy Rest in Peace, 2 copies of Council's Judgment, 1 Palace Jailer, 2 Surgical Extraction, 2 Disenchant, 1 Ruined Halo, 2 Aethersworn Canonist, 2 Containment Priests, and 1 Fairy Macabre. So we saw him immediately grabbing the Rest in Peace and the 2 Council's Judgment. What else sticks out to you here? I kind of like Palace Jailer. Maybe not.
It's a little slow.
It's a little slow, and Kyre's attacking you quite a bit.
Kyre's gonna rip apart your hand to the point that you're not gonna be able to put the 4th land into play, in my opinion. I don't like it.
Then it's probably not difficult for Kyre to wipe away your board and take the crown from you, and
yeah,
I don't think you want to risk giving Jund that kind of card advantage.
Surgical or Ruined Halo? I think Surgical is a little bit better.
I dropped my engagement ring.
Isn't that just a marriage ring?
Yeah, I guess that's what it's called now.
I don't know what it's called.
After you're married, it stops being an engagement ring.
But yeah, Ruined Halo, I could see a little bit of a reason for that. Death in Texas doesn't mind going to the long game.
Did I not write down Kyre's sideboard? I thought I did.
Yeah, Fairy Macabre probably not coming in. Surgical Extraction, the Graveyard Hate.
Whoops. Well, I guess I haven't written down Kyre's sideboard. I thought I already had, so I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, we ended up watching the Kyre's match halfway through, so
yeah,
I think you wrote down
I guess
the other
that's
one.
true. Yeah. Looks like Alan's going to take a quick step away from the table. Kyre's looking at boarding out some of his hand disruption. Thought Seizes, bringing in Ancient Grudges, Pithing Needle, Golgari Charm. Just going to lay that out on the table for us.
Alan's not even there, so...
Yeah.
How did you guys set up the chat, like on the side?
Magic. It's complicated.
Just the internet.
Yeah, the internet.
Kyre talking to himself like a loony. Look at him doing math. He's already figuring out how he's going to get Alan dead before Alan even shuffles and presents his deck.
He hasn't even sat down yet, and he's 5 steps ahead. I think if Kyre has a Toxic Deluge in his board, that's
definitely coming in. It looked like he did have a Golgari Charm, which is pretty great.
We saw Maelstrom Pulse, and that seems all right.
I like Maelstrom Pulse.
It's a little bit weak to Thing.
Ah, yes, Thing.
Dahlia?
Oh, sure. 4 mana.
Yeah.
A tall order against a Wasteland Rashad Port deck.
Engineered Plague. Is that the one where you name a creature type?
Yeah.
So he probably doesn't have Engineered Plague.
If he did, I like it here, though, naming human.
Yeah.
That makes lots of Alan's things dead.
Uh-huh.
Kills the mum.
Thalia. He would even have a chance to name Flicker Wisp.
12 viewers as of right now.
12 viewers total.
All right. The players are looking at their openers. We see a couple of lands, couple of Punishing Fires, a Surgical Extraction, and a Grim Flare among one other card on Kyre's side. Alan not happy with his 7, gonna pitch it back, look for a better 6.
Oh, who did the first game? Kyre, right?
Kyre did. Kyre satisfied with his 7. Looks like he's just gonna keep it.
I'm just gonna check in on the other match real quick myself. Nothing really happening.
Champion. That's a cool playmat. It's kind of a cool Chandra artwork. I like Chandra. She's a ginger girlfriend.
Like Jon Snow's girlfriend.
Yeah, he had a good ginger girlfriend. Alright, Alan looks like he's satisfied with his 6, and he's going to scry and top it. Caracas, Mother of Runes.
That's pretty good.
That's a good start. We are off to the races. Take a draw for Kyre. Looks like a Golgari Charm was the find.
That's good.
Yep. Looks really good in the face of this mom.
Oh, yeah.
Stoneforge Mystic. Not as good.
Yeah.
Gonna keep it alive there, but still a lot of things that Kyra can clean up with this Golgari charm.
Yeah,
He's going to go straight for the Hammer of Nizam.
He's not. Yeah, I don't think he's going to be going for this Golgari charm yet. He's going to have to. I think he's going to Punishing Fire.
Yeah, I think that there are definitely a lot more value to be inked out of that Golgari charm than just one hit.
I think since he hit that hammer, I would kind of be suspicious that he already has the Batterskull if I were Kyra.
Yeah, that's definitely a consideration.
Can't see what's in Alan's hand.
He's holding it pretty close to the chest.
Playing the old shell game with the hand.
Not wanting to give anything away. Kyra, on the other hand, a little experience in the booth, helping us out a bit. We see 2 Punishing Fires, the Golgari charm, and it looks like 3 lands and...
Ancient Grudge?
3... maybe an Ancient Grudge.
I thought I saw an Ancient Grudge.
He's got some number of lands, at least 2. 2 Punishing Fires, Golgari charm, and Grim Fleya.
Oh, maybe it was a Grim Fleya.
Looks like that's what he's thinking about.
Huh. Not what I would go with. But he definitely knows how to play this deck 100% better than me. Not fearing the hammer. Yeah, I guess he's kind of just thinking, the hammer doesn't boost toughness, so the Golgari charm's still very effective here, unless he puts it on the Stoneforge Mystic. Wasteland coming down for Alan. I like that.
Yeah, start putting that lock on Kyra. And he's just going to pass the turn, will Alan. Take a draw for Kyra, who finds Liliana the Veil. This Golgari charm looking a lot better now.
I think this is where Jund is at its best, is against another fair deck. It's not 2-for-1ing itself with Force of Will.
So this is an interesting reason to have not waited on the hammer. He can't kill one of these threats, because the hammer's just going to come down at instant speed and immediately get attached to something, giving it indestructible.
Oh, that's kind of neat.
So maybe just a little bit of unfamiliarity with the way the card works, but he's going to, if he goes for a Punishing Fire on this Mother of Ruins...
It's not going to stop either Golgari charm or Lily, though.
No.
Both of those cards just
Both of those cards will clean something up. Yeah, for the Judge Classes card, you probably want to talk to the Paragon owners.
Yeah, we don't manage the YouTube at all.
Yeah.
We just record and then kind of walk away.
Yeah, we show up, talk to you guys for a few hours, and then go home.
It's great.
So, looks like nothing came out of Kyra this turn. And down comes the Batterskull. So, as you deduced, the Batterskull was in Alan's hand.
It was a little confusing that he got that hammer. So now is Kyra's opportunity to hit something without that hammer saving it. Gonna pass on that. Interesting. I guess. Oh, he had Mother of Runes untapped still.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I kind of like. Let's see what Kyra's going to do here. Kyra's going to go for the Golgari charm, maybe?
He thinks about it.
What's the mode here he's selecting on Golgari charm?
I would suspect minus.
So try to turn that
Isn't
into
it
a 3/3?
regenerate or...
Oh, I guess you can regenerate your guy.
And it, yeah.
So is he just going to go for the regen on the Grim Flayer and block?
No, I think he's going to give -/- to all of Alan's guys, and he's going to take 2 points less of damage this turn, or 1 point less,
okay.
And he's going to kill the Mother of Runes.
Okay. So seems like Kyra is trying to orchestrate a way that he's going to be able to make these Punishing Fires a little better for him.
Mm-hmm.
But again, the indestructibility on that hammer is going to put a wrench in that plan.
I'd say a bit.
Alan is just going to go for the hammer here. Trigger it. Put it on the batters. Put it on the germ. The Batterskull, not the target here.
Yeah.
The germ token. Bloodbraid Elf is the draw for Kyre.
Little land light here.
Not sure if he has a third.
He doesn't.
He does have an Abrupt Decay to take care of the... no, the Hammer's 4.
Stoneforge. Yeah,
The Hammer's
Stoneforge
4.
is the
Wow.
only target for that. So he can...
Not looking good here after these two equipments are already on the field.
It's not too late, though. So he could, like, punishing... Yeah, he's going to punishing fire this guy. I think this is a setup for Lily.
Yeah. Hoping that he just rips that land.
And Alan doesn't do anything.
Gonna get smashed here for 6. Gonna gain 6 life for Alan and fall down to 11 for Kyre.
Goes up some giant dice in life.
Things looking grim for Kyre and his Flayer.
Ha!
Ah!
Game 3, if I was Kyre, I think Game 3 would start looking...
Well, a Mirran Crusader
good.
just hit the board, so that means that this Liliana's not gonna be very effective.
Not yet, but he can at least... He can...
Punishing
Punishing
fire
fire...
and hope that there's not another creature. Only
Yeah.
2 cards in Alan's hand. Gonna gain a life, will Alan. Punishing fire. Gonna take care of that Mirran Crusader. And I still don't believe that Kyre even has Delirium. I think there are just 3 card types. 2 card types. Instant land in his graveyard right now.
I think you're right.
2 mana, Stoneforge Mystic. Probably gonna go search up the Jite, as I assume it's probably the last artifact equipment in his deck. I can't imagine
Most
that
likely.
he has the sword and the hammer
Yeah.
alongside the Battle Scroll and the GTA. That seems like quite a bit.
There's the GT.
Yep. And I have to guess that this is probably the last.
I've heard
Piece
people
of
call
equipment.
sword the worst equipment in the deck.
If you're going to be cutting it, or going to be trying to add different equipment, it's probably the cut.
Yeah, and then you just throw it in the board.
Yeah.
So, this Germ holding 3 equipments.
Because the hammer just let it come right into
Yep.
play attached to him. So I'm going to say that this game is over. The Stoneforge Mystic giving him some insurance against the Liliana minus.
He blocks.
Yep, he's not wanting to die, but 2 counters now on this Jite.
Yeah. So that thing's going to be...
Come on,
for
Alan, use the good dice. Looks like Alan's just going to gain some life.
This Batter Skull potentially hitting Alan, or for Kyre for 10, plus the 1 from Stoneforge. If Kyre doesn't do anything, he's dead.
Yeah. Kind of makes me curious that... oh no, maybe Alan didn't gain life. It looked like he down-ticked the GTA and started moving his dice, but I guess I'm wrong. Didn't make a lot of sense to me why he would do
Goyf
that.
is going to mean he gets 1 more turn.
At least, unless he can keep drawing chump blockers.
So he can Abrupt Decay the Stoneforge and set up that Lily 1 more time and just keep hoping that Alan just draws lands for once. He has a Horizon Canopy though, so I wouldn't bet on that.
Yep. Alan's going to untap and take a draw. Get to see it. And... gonna pump up the Batter Skull, make it a 10-10 or a 10-8. No, what's happening?
I think this is post.
Okay, he's at
combat.
1. Okay. Interesting. Why would he not attack with Stoneforge Mystic?
It's kind of a moot point.
I
Yeah.
guess. I mean, I think that he just lost the game because of it, though. Well, no. I mean, he had removal anyway.
Yeah. But yeah,
But are you just representing that you have another equipment?
I don't like that. I mean, there's no
kinda
reason
like
not
just
to.
attacking for lethal.
There's no reason not to.
So, gonna take care of that germ token.
Yeah, this is...
Maybe Kyre has stabilized
Yeah,
here.
he could have stabilized.
Not a lot of action left for Alan.
So when the equipment says when an equipment enters, right?
Yes.
So
Putting a creature into play is not going to boots it right up. He's going to have to spend mana on that. And he, right now, only has the mana to equip all of them, so never mind.
But slowly. He's not going to be able to do it in the same turn. So all of this removal in Kyre's hand is going to be relevant.
Yeah, that is true. This recruiter going to go get a creature.
Just creatures for days here, probably.
Flicker Wisp. Ah, Flicker the Batterskull. Get it back. Get a germ token.
Yeah.
Lightning Bolt looks like going to take care of the recruiter. And it looks like Kyre's done himself a good job of navigating through this game, getting him into the best position he has to win what looked like an unwinnable game.
He just had to set up that Lily. It took him forever, but...
He eventually got there. He had a game plan. He stuck to that game plan. And he put himself into a really good spot here to win this game. Grim Flayer going to come down. Still think that it's only... Yeah. Why is the Liliana exiled again?
He cancels Judgment.
Oh, cancels Judgment. Yeah. Okay. So I still think he only has 2 card types. No, there's a creature in there. 3 card types. Creature, instant, and land.
So he's 1 off?
But I mean, if there's nothing... If there's going to be the Flicker Wisp on the Batterskull.
Yeah.
What does Kyre have left in his hand? Punishing Fire among other card.
He flickered the other equipment.
Interesting. To just create a big indestructible threat?
Yeah.
I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I mean, you lose to Liliana the Veil that way, but I think that your 5/1 indestructible Flicker Wisp tangos with everything that Kyre's got. And you've got plenty of life to work with, I think. Lightning Bolt, I think, just going to go to Alan's face.
Yeah, it doesn't...
Or does it kill one of your Bloodbraid Elves to give you Delirium?
I think he just scoops it, yeah.
Yep, he just scoops it up. He's dead.
Go on to round 3. Wow. That was closer than I thought it was. Kyre almost stabilizes there.
Yeah. And I guess I kind of like Alan's line of flicker the equipment, put it into play onto my guy.
Yeah. I just wasn't sure how that worked. Create an indestructible
threat.
Yeah.
When your opponent's on 3, I like having an indestructible 5-power flyer as opposed to a Batterskull.
Yeah, just fly over win. Yeah, because you don't get like Tragic Slipped or anything.
Yeah.
I say Tragic Slip. Fatal Push.
Fatal Pushed.
I mix those cards
up. A number
up.
of removal spells that could have handled both of those creatures on their own, but when indestructible, not a lot that Kyre can do. A Liliana off the top
ironically
would have been the death
one
nail.
I accidentally said was Tragic Slip, and that would have been the opposite. It would have actually worked.
Yeah, Slip would have worked. What does the sword do? The Hammer of Nizam, one of the new cards out of the Commander product. So it grants the creature indestructible and +2/+0. But when it comes into play and when other equipment you control comes into play, it immediately attaches to a creature.
Yeah, here's a link if you want it.
So when you put the hammer into play off of the Stoneforge Mystic activation, it comes straight onto a creature. So by Alan flickering it with the Flicker Wisp, we've got to figure out a new way to say that, but when Alan exiled it with the Flicker Wisp and it came back into play, it immediately attached to the Flicker Wisp, giving Alan a 5-power indestructible flyer.
Yeah, definitely better than Sword in that matchup. Sort of Fire and Ice?
Sort of Fire and Ice, yeah. I mean, it gives you bolt protection, punishing fire protection, but you're already giving your creature +2 power anyway, so you're probably out of bolt range and fire range anyway, so really you're just in it for the extra card. The 2 damage to mow down Deathrite Shamans and the such, but you've got Jite to take care of that if that's what you're worried about.
The extra mana to equip the sword as compared to just just going back and thinking about all of the mana that the Sword of Nizam saved him in equipping costs.
The Hammer of Nizam.
The Hammer of Nizam. Yeah, it's a sword. I don't care. It'd be 2 toughness as well if it was a sword. But that saved him, what, 8 mana more?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
yeah, that was really efficient on mana. Didn't have to equip his Jitte. Didn't have to equip his
Batterskull.
his Batterskull came into play.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, Flicker was to begin with, but so that saved him a lot of mana.
Mm-hmm.
Saved him a total of 10 mana that game that he would have spent equipping. So I'm kind of impressed by the Hammer.
So far, for
Seems
sure.
powerful.
So Alan going to be going down to 6. Kyr looks like he keeps his hand. Good old neck crack. Kyr was 5 steps ahead at the start of that game, but maybe he didn't factor in the Hammer of Nizam.
I certainly didn't. 6 cards for Alan coming. Gonna make sure that we can't see him. Do everything he can to make things hard on us. And he's gonna scry this one going to the bottom pretty fast. And Swamp for Kyr. Pass the turn. Rishadenport is the land for Alan in no play. So no turn 1 Aether Vial in I think any of these games so far for Alan.
I think he has another port in his hand. I don't know if he has a colored source.
That could make things rough for him.
We'll see, though.
That's another new card.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And in for 2 comes the Grim Flayer. Wasteland immediately taking care of that Grove of the Burn Willows. Kyr gonna decide what he likes here. It looks like a Bloodbraid Elf and 2 lands.
Yeah, I think so.
Gonna put them both back. Land, Bloodbraid Elf. Looks like it wants to be the order. Setting himself up to draw bad lands. Nope, gonna put that into the graveyard. Maybe give him some more Delirium. Or a step closer to Delirium.
Yeah, that does.
And
That it
Bloodstained Mire.
does. Yeah, just another port Jitte.
Wow, so not looking too good for Alan here. Kyr's going to draw that Bloodstained Mire and immediately put it into play.
Just all the bolts in removal. He has Golgari Charm, bunch of Punishing Fires, Bolt.
Just a lot of instants. So not going to get Delirium off what's in his hand.
Probably off of the Grim
But-
Flayer trigger.
Sure, very easy to get off the Grim Clair trigger, but if Alan ever does find a white source of mana, Kyr's got him covered in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
Bolt, Punishing Fire, Golgari Charm, in for 2. Dropping Alan to 17, going to be a trigger for Kyr.
I'm excited to see why
Lightning Bolt and 2 more lands.
I'm excited to see why Alan kept his hand. There must be a reason.
It just must be one of those hands where if his scry shows him the white source or a Aether Vial, and he is on the draw, then his hand's just probably a 10. But without that card in the scry, it's probably a 4.
It's a mole, so I would not ever put that at 10. But
Well, as mulligans go.
yeah.
But showcasing, actually, I think, kind of the power of the scry, especially when you're on the draw. Making games where you mulligan like this unwinnable. But if the scry pans out, your hands just become very solid. Another Rishadenport, and there's an Aether Vial.
Finally the Vial. Let's see if it's enough to get him back in this.
Facing down a Liliana and still a 2/2 Grimflayer. Kyr's just kind of seen a lot of lands.
Alan taps down
The Bayou.
the Bayou with his Rishadenport.
Another land is the draw, it looks like, for Kyr in Wooded Foothills. He's going to play that Wooded Foothills. He's just going to crack it right now.
Doesn't he just have Burn in his hand? Or it's still... Oh, he discarded the Golgari Charm. I think we're fine on an app.
The app we have works pretty well. It's just hasn't been updated yet with all these new commander cards, but gonna
Day of release, I think
uptick.
that's forgivable.
Punishing Fire going to be the discard. Sanctum Prelate for Alan. Not great here.
Goyf,
But
Lily.
based off...
So the Lily's for sure hitting the yard. There's a second Lily and he decides to keep it.
I think that gives him Delirium.
Yeah.
That puts him at land, instant, creature. Yep, and he's going to separate his pile out. Got exactly Delirium. So
And was there a Goyf that I also saw in that pile? I think there was.
I think there was. So I think he topped Goyf and Liliana the Veil.
So he's going to be able to Punishing
I think
Fire
he's
and
probably
Goyf.
drawing Goyf here. Yep.
Yep.
So based off what Alan has discarded so far to this Liliana, looks like if he scryed into an Aether Vial, his hand looked pretty strong. So that must have been the thought behind this mulligan, was that this hand is not great unless I can scry into Aether Vial.
I feel like the chances of that are remote, though.
Is it more remote than finding a winnable 5?
Yeah.
Like,
I would say so.
I think that this is one of those positions where you're kind of gambling, right? You're kind of saying to yourself, are my chances of hitting an Aether Vial on my scry
or a white
higher, or a white source, better than my chances of winning off a mulligan to 5? And I think if you got a hand that's powerful enough with the Aether Vial, I think it's worth the risk. It's one of those hands where you think that I probably win this game if I find the Aether Vial.
He's discarded Mother of Runes and a whole bunch of 3-drops so far.
Yeah.
So I don't think Aether Vial would have made that hand playable. I think specifically white would have.
And Aether Vial's going to tick up to 2 and just going to pass the turn.
I mean, certainly an Aether Vial on turn 1 would have helped, but...
Not even going to vial, or not even going to port anything down.
That's interesting. Has he accepted his fate?
Lightning Bolt is going to just finish him off.
Yeah.
Yeah, not really an impressive hand. Maybe another mulligan there was warranted, but... Switch over to the other table.
Yeah, Kyre taking down that. And I'm going to see
2 games to 1.
what's
So
going
we've
on
got Bryce and Steve again. Was this player's name?
Yeah.
On Grixis Delver. Both on Grixis Delver.
Oops. What's going on here? I think Steve is taking a mole. Bryce patiently waiting. So there's a 6 for Steve.
Delver of Secrets,
Two
Deathrite
land.
Shaman, 2 lands, another Delver's gonna scry, look at a Young Pyromancer and say keep.
There's a G-probe there.
Okay. Deathrite Shaman is the play for Steve. Reanimate?
Yeah, that's
is
not Grixis Delver.
Yeah. They must be done playing and just playing again for funsies. Because that is not what Bryce was playing last round. He did not have Reanimates in his deck. Bryce is going to fetch and find a Badlands. Yeah, definitely Reanimator. What else is in his hand there? Lightning Bolt going to take care of the Deathrite Shaman. Maybe this is Grixis Delver and it's just a weird Bryce brew. I mean, we already saw the Wizard out of his deck. Let's find out. Let's find out with this Gitaxian Probe. Thanks you, Steve, for helping us out.
It looks like Grixis Delver. What is that artifact?
Oh, crap.
It looks like some kind of like lotus petal or something.
No, it's not a lotus petal.
Doesn't look familiar to me. Yep, pretty accurate.
Bryce on Grixis stuff.
So probably see an island. Yeah, there's the island.
So island is the play.
Don't do that. I gave you a yawn.
And lightning bolt gonna clean up the young pyromancer.
Engineered explosives the draw, I believe.
Yep. Steve gonna go reach him for some manas. Not sure what the game count is right now, but we can probably safely assume that it is at least game 2.
Yeah.
Deathrite Shaman, the play for Steve. And in for one with a thing. Young Pyromancer token is what that was.
Oh yeah. I thought you were talking about the artifact again, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, attacking with the Mr. Top Hat. Gitaxian Prove, let's take a peek.
Delver and...
Curious why not deploying the Delver. Maybe that's an engineered
I
explosive.
think this is just for fun, so...
Maybe it is.
Well,
Could that be an engineered explosives in Bryce's hand, that invention? That could be a good reason to not deploy all your 1-drops.
It is.
Ha ha! The power of deduction has won me the day.
One person plays engineered explosives, they're a mirror match, so... yeah, figured that out.
Bryce, I guess, just got the reanimate as just a way to have each player both put a threat back into play.
Wait, what?
Reanimate? Oh, I'm thinking of Exhume.
Yeah,
Yeah, reanimate's one-sided.
Yeah, it just...
So yeah, that's just a great way. It's just like an extra Colligan's command.
Yeah.
Just
It's
without
great
the
with Snapcaster.
just without the versatility. Yeah. So I think this matchup, a lot of it comes down to who has the last resource and who has the last young pyromancer, which in this instance is Bryce. If he can make the player that can run away with the young pyromancer, the card is just great.
And with reanimate, like,
yeah, I don't like attacking.
With reanimate, he can just be like, okay, you killed my pyromancer, I get pyromancer.
Guess he likes attacking here. What's he got in hand then? Oh, okay. He's got a Diabolic Edict and a Snapcaster Mage. So not really sure why you would want to attack into the Deathrite Shaman. Maybe just scare your opponent, and they chump block, they just trade with their token, and then you Edict away the Deathrite Shaman.
It's possible.
Seems loose.
Yeah.
I kind of like just keeping my Elemental token.
So, is this an engineered explosives for 1?
Yep, that's what it looks like. Do you pop that right away, or
he's gonna let him
say go?
tap?
Deathrite Shaman gonna exile something. Gonna target Lightning Bolt.
Bolts, yep. Relevant with that Snapcaster in Bryce's hand.
Mm-hmm. Good opportunity to take that while he's tapped out of Snapcaster mana.
Honda.
3 cards coming for Steve. Cabal Therapy among them.
Delver.
Not seeing the 3rd card.
Wasteland.
Aha.
Brought him to the front 1 by 1 for us. That was really nice.
I wonder... I kind of like drawing the Delver. Oh, Cabal Therapy. Okay, naming Wonder if he named Snapcaster here. Just because he knows it's in his hand and it's good with lightning bolts in the graveyard.
Nope.
Gonna name Reanimate.
Probably thinking about flashing back. Yeah.
I'm not a fan. Okay, sure. Flash it back now. Name. Oof, that's rough. Because now he just gets responded to. That was probably a misstep there from Steve. Can still respond to a sorcery with an instant.
Yeah.
So gonna lose his Deathrite Shaman. Gonna think about activating it before he does.
So yeah, the Cabal Therapy is still on the stack. 'Cause he hasn't named his card yet because you named the card on resolution.
Mm-hmm. But he's gonna go sacrifice to get an activation out of the Deathrite Shaman. Probably take away the second lightning bolt in Bryce's graveyard for his Delver, which means he had to shuffle away that other Delver. So Steve left with just a single threat. It's the Delver,
and it's
and
gonna
that
be edicted
engineered
away.
explosives is gonna just clean it up.
What? It's gonna be edicted away. That's on the stack as well.
Well, the edict is gonna. Oh, the edict is gonna clean up the Deathrite Shaman.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah, there's another Delver in his hand, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. The Delver in his hand is his last threat. So he's going to play that, or he can't, because he's just going to get eaten by the engineered explosives.
Yeah.
So Bryce done a very, very good job of making sure that he's the last player with resources. I'm probably just going to run away with this game.
Ooh.
Going to name
Engineered
explosives.
explosives.
So
Get a token.
reveal Deathrite, or sorry, yeah, just gonna take care of that right now. Flash it back, get the other token in for 3.
I think he's going to Gitaxian Probe? I guess not.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, tap.
Yeah, I would just probe here.
Yeah, he taps the blue for the probe, which is...
I don't like doing that.
I don't mind it.
He's at 9. Okay. I don't know the answer to that question.
We just cast.
We're literally just two random guys off the street that
know about Legacy.
They said, "Hey, we need someone to cast," and we just raised our hands.
Hey, I volunteered. I was like, hey, please let me do this.
Oh, that's true. You volunteered. Then you needed someone to help you because Rich bailed.
Yeah, then I was like, please let him do this.
Alright, and this young Pyromancer looking to steal away this game, but Gormag Angler might slow that down a bit, as Bryce seems to be flooding out just a bit here, but he's going to attack with 4 elementals. One's going to get blocked. Or maybe he's not going to attack.
Fakes like he's casting a Convoke spell and then goes, no. Looking through his yard, don't know if there's anything super helpful there.
Yeah.
Nope, it's just going to pass the turn.
Pierce is the draw for Steve. And Bryce going to take an unstap. Found another land. Snapcaster Mage.
Ooh, that's going to be able to hit an Edict.
Yep. And he's just going to edict away this Gormag Angler. That's going to be met with Spell Pierce.
Ouch.
Okay.
Remember your trigger,
Still
Bryce?
a trigger on the Young Pyromancer. There
Yeah.
we go. Wonder if he's going to attack now. Draw was Dismember?
Yeah, that's a decent draw.
Gonna take care of the Young Pyromancer there. Gonna just tap out to do it though, not wanting to pay 4 life.
I think that's fine.
Yeah,
He's
that
not going to
seems-
have any other cards in hand anyway.
And another land for Bryce.
Just flooding out.
Is that the turn counter that they're ticking
It
up
kind of
there?
looks like it.
Young Pyromancer.
And
Yep,
he's just going
and-
to scoop it up.
Well, that was turn 5, so
Oh.
probably just going to take a draw here.
Okay,
So
yeah.
Looks like that match ended in a draw.
Well, I think that's all we have for tonight. We've only been doing 3 rounds, so
Yep.
from all the heroes here at Paragon City Games, thank you for watching. We do Legacy on Tuesdays,
Standard on Mondays.
Judge classes on Wednesdays.
Take a brief break on Thursday, and then you can join us here again on Friday.
Bye!
See ya.